Look, I don't know what you wanted me to do. I had crimson fucking rain right in front of me and on me. We are really lucky His Highness was not hurt. By the way, do you know something about how to get bloodstains out of your... Fine, I shouldn't have fucking asked. Whatever, I'm leaving. Some of us have actual duties to attend to. Most gods don't sit around the telepathic matrix all day, gossiping and... Hello? What? Did you just fucking... Alright, I'm here. What's so urgent? What? My face? Huh? I don't fucking know. Strawberry sauce or something. Now what is it? So you want me to rank these people in regards to physical ability or special powers, weapon proficiency? Huh? My personal opinion. Are you sure you want... Well, fine, okay, whatever. How hard can it be? His Highness. Who's this? You couldn't have picked a better picture. Fucking Chi wrong. Why is he even here? Fucking brat. Keep calm, think of His Highness. Keep calm, think of His Highness. Keep calm, think of His Highness. I'm gonna need a drink for this. Fucking mooching man. Ever since he appeared at the Royal Holy Temple, he has annoyed me more than any other being in the three realms put together. I do not understand him. I cannot understand him. Everything he does is so fucking fascinating to me. Like, I want to break him apart and see what is inside. How the fuck does his brain function? Yeah, I've gone on multiple mooching rounds in my 800 years or so in this world. Some of them even before I ascended, most of them to his face. So I'm not keen on going off on him behind his back, but this guy's just full of contradictions. I can't believe he dared say that to His Highness. Everyone says it. He's infinitely harder to like. How can he feel joy seeing His Highness struggle like that? He's a nasty bitch. There, I said it. I might sound like I fucking hate mooching, and you know what? Maybe I do. Maybe I do hate him. I have some very strong feelings about him. There's something I really can't describe. He's always so infuriating, but he's always the one who's been there. He always did stuff in such a convoluted way. He's the only other person who saw. I don't know. Sometimes I even think I like... Oh, fuck.
Good evening! Good time zone and warm greetings to wherever you are in the world. This is Amelia, aka Spaced Out Puffin, and I am filming this 2 days before Christmas, which is probably going to make this a very late Christmas gift for you guys, and made me kind of wish I had worn something more season appropriate today. But I am too lazy to go change, and we have more important things to talk about. So happy holidays to those who celebrate, and to everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. So hey, remember about like 1 video ago when I was begging for the romantic plot to get moving? Well, what I am trying to say is that the last reading I did of chapter 42-44 had enough romantic gestures and mishaps to fit not 1, but 2 whole Disney references. And yet, the vibe is kind of ominous, kind of foreboding. Not because of HuaLian per se, because they're having the time of their lives, having their little fairy tale themed date out in Ghost City, the rules of 3 and everything. The boys are doing alright. In fact, they might even be about to reveal the location of this Thousand Lights Temple, HuaLian's Thousand Lights Temple mind. So why am I so anxious? Well, because of the kisses. There were multiple of them. And I highly suspect that this is not a kiss, fall in love kind of situation. Rather, I am very suspicious that this is going to be a kiss, fall into a stagnant romantic development, further dampened by a silent mutual agreement not to talk about this or bring it up ever again, leading to some extraordinarily frustrating misinterpretations of one another's feelings. That is, until another book's worth of tension cooked over slow burn ends up in Gaga getting tumbled over someone's library desk. AKA the journey to volume 4, which all sounds well and good. But we still have to talk about this scene, guys. Because while all the art for this has been absolutely stunning, like we're talking flowing robes underwater, amazing lighting, it's absolutely iconic. You can do so much good art with this, and people have. Thank you to everyone for sharing it with me in my Discord server. So while there's that, I also understand why readers might have different interpretations and even mixed feelings about this whole scene. And well, dear congregation, we are gathered here today to rejoice in and overanalyze the union of the lips between two very confused dummies who can and probably will keep dancing around each other for another 800 years. Unless the author puts them into yet another box trope, because that's what this scene was. So here's my take on the HuaLian first kiss analysis. And my mindset going into this, which you need to adapt to kind of follow along for this analysis, is that there are two motivations for why this happened and why it happened the way it did. The first, of course, being the characters, HuaLian and Huachang, and their motivations, their agencies as characters. But the second perspective is that of the reader, and more directly, the author. In fact, I already gave you a little bit of this perspective in the previous video. It starts with the statement, the romantic plot, the HuaLian plot, needs to accelerate. Throughout the first arc of TGCF, heck, even through the first volume of TGCF, the author, MXDX, has kind of masterfully set up this companionship between the main characters. Like, even if there wasn't any romantic tension, they would be really good friends. But also, thank Crimson Rainsort Flower that there is romantic tension. Because I happen to be really enjoying that. And like we see this reference in Arc 3 already, like HuaLian is thinking about Huachang even though he's not there. Because to HuaLian, Huachang has become a point of safety. And then in Volume 2 we also make it clear that Huachang's character is romantically interested in HuaLian. Or at least will come to be romantically interested and is certainly attracted to him. And we have every reason to believe that the same is true now in Arc 3. So where we've been at with the HuaLian relationship is sort of again like a mismatch where you have Huachang, who is raring to go honestly, definitely the romantically active part in this ship right now. And then there's HuaLian, who is just not even really considering this to be an option yet. Because we know he likes Huachang, he thinks he's funny, he's a great conversationalist, he loves talking to him, and he loves that he listens to him. And we get plenty of hints that he does find Huachang, Sanlang, plenty attractive and good looking. But like, objectively speaking, I suppose. In other words, there's so much fuel, and we're burning like the slowest slow burn. We are on a track where this is literally going to take us 800 years of companionship that just keeps growing and growing and growing until one day they will look at each other and go like, so yeah, we're basically married, huh? But we ain't got time for that shit, said MXDX and then lit a stick of dynamite. So what I am saying is that in order to get the story she wants, the author decides that we need to spark some romantic tension. And thus, we get the box trope, which is what I've been calling it in my head because I think I've been in too many fandoms where it's really popular to draw art of your ship stuck in a box, you know? Kind of compromising positions. Like, could be fully clothed or whatever, it's just for fun. But there is something to it. If you want to be more technical about it, I suppose the trope is also called stuck in the elevator or locked in a room. Which is basically when you take two characters and seal them into a room, which is not exactly what is happening here. Huachang willingly walked into the box after all. In romantic fiction, this trope has another word altogether that you might have heard more often, which is forced proximity. And that is the whole point of the box, the forced proximity that it brings along. I suppose you could also say that this is locked in a freezer box because there's an element of danger to all of this, which plays out as follows. Huachang has to kiss HuaLian so that he can give him air so that he will not drown while avoiding the Fetus Spirit. He doesn't want him to be impregnated by the Fetus Spirit, which... fair. I understand. But thus, forced proximity. And again, remember, we're thinking from the author's perspective here. It was not enough for Hua-Chang to show up, grab HuaLian, throw the dice, and take him to safety. Even though there could have been some sort of forced proximity there, it would not have been enough, because that's already happened before. Hua-Chang has in fact grabbed HuaLian by the waist multiple times already at this point. Like, at this point, I feel like HuaLian just thinks that's normal now. That's just what they do now. So from the author's perspective, the kiss is necessary so that HuaLian, 817-year-old virgin HuaLian, will come to realize that kissing Hua-Chang is possible to do. It's within the realm of possibility. So what the author kind of achieves here is that she recalibrates the characters with this new sort of worldview. Like, we're no longer on the 800 years of slow burn track, but on a track where things are possible, where kissing your very handsome Ghost King friend is very, very possible. Are there other ways to go about this? Yes, of course there are. But this whole scene is very effective at utilizing the element of surprise, and also upsetting the reader as much as you're upsetting HuaLian. By which I mean surprising your reader, in that your reader is also kind of thinking that, oh well, this is going quite slow, but suddenly we're getting a kiss in book 3. Like, finally they kissed. They might actually get together in my lifetime. And like, we've talked about this before, like, there's a certain expectation of the genre. Like, we are reading a Danmei novel, we are expecting the romantic tensions to go up, and we are expecting development. So from the author's and the reader's perspective, it is about high time that we start making them more. And as a side note, from a more meta sort of perspective, this scene actually builds on previous scenes. This scene is a parallel to the Sinner's Pit in Volume 1, which is another situation where HuaLian was prepared to face a lot of pain in order to get a handle on the situation. He was prepared to smash into the ground like a pancake and pop up again eventually so that he could deal with this mess. In both instances, HuaLian is prepared to face pain, only to have Hua-Chang come in, grab him by the waist, and make sure that that doesn't happen. And so we are continuing the theme of Hua-Chang appearing as a voice against HuaLian's sort of, not desire, but his decisions to sacrifice himself and his own well-being for the sake of solving a situation. You have Hua-Chang showing up and trying to make sure that that does not happen, which could very well, be Hua-Chang's reason for existing. So to summarize, we had a good setup going, but it was going too slow. The author needed a way to fix that, and thus constructed the box that is this very improbable situation that still somehow happened, and this is the result. So while it's good to have an understanding as for why the author might have decided for this to happen, it's still important to, actually consult the text. So let's have a look at what the characters might be thinking and feeling about this. And also, if it feels probable at all that they would think and do things the way that things happened. It is of course easiest to start with HuaLian's perspective, and it's kind of funny. I enjoy this a lot. Like, he is outraged. Never in his life had anyone treated him like this. First, no one dared, and second, no one could. However, this person was swift like the devil and had appeared so suddenly that he had no chance to defend himself before he'd been plunged into such a state. So he's been outmaneuvered, and he fights back. And like when he finally kind of gives up because, oh my god, he can't do anything against this person, he realizes that, oh, it's Hua-Chang. No wonder why he's so cold. Oh yeah, ghosts probably don't need to breathe, do they? Etc, etc. And then he only starts to struggle again after, staring intimately into Hua-Chang's eye. Which I read as, he got a little bit panicked there, a little bit flustered. During that second kiss, we can read lines like, HuaLian's lips were aching and numb from the kiss, and he felt as if he was about to lose all sense of himself. If this were anyone else, he would have long since stabbed them with his sword. But it just had to be Hua-Chang. He was so completely at loss as of how to respond that tears threatened to fall. In other words, Hua-Chang already in his mind is an exception. And even after discovering that it is Hua-Chang doing this to him, he has no desire to, well, stab him. Just a page later, HuaLian spends a whole paragraph describing how good Hua-Chang looks. And then when Hua-Chang tries to talk to him, HuaLian.exe has ceased to function, troubleshooting running now. Error found, no firewalls installed against the wiles of men. And then HuaLian reboots and thinks, oh gee, I hope Sanlang doesn't think I'm weird for freaking out about this. After all, he was only trying to help. Oh my lord, fucking HuaLian. But yes, to summarize, HuaLian is really confused. Because again, this is his first time doing this. This has never happened with him or to him before. And to me, it seems that his moment of panic originates in, oh, not only do I not want to stab this person who really kissed me without my consent, but also now that I'm looking at him, now that I'm thinking about him, I'm feeling some sort of way about this that I don't think I'm supposed to feel. In other words, this is a huge turning point for HuaLian because while Hua-Chang's realization about, well, it is possible to be gay actually, came 800 years ago, I think HuaLian's realization about that is literally happening just now. At least the very beginnings of it. And while he does comment on not being taught how to defend against the wiles of men, I don't think there's any evidence that HuaLian has been attracted to men on the general before any of this. I mean, HuaLian, you've been surrounded by pretty handsome, pretty nice looking guys for most of your life, honestly. Well, maybe at least for the beginning of it, and you know, he's remarked on other people, you know, being good looking and such. But again, Hua-Chang stands out. He has already set him apart up until now, and in this situation he does it again, and he will continue to do so. Except now, there's this added layer of, oh, I recalled that I kissed him, and the tension that this brings. As for Hua-Chang's perspective, first of all, how did he end up here? Did his ashes? I don't know, like, did he notice something via his ashes because they are there? Like, this is like the dream realm sort of the child's spirit, right? How did Hua-Chang go there? How was he able to get into it in the nick of time, you know? You know what, for now, let's just accept that he is there. There's probably a reason for it. Let's just accept that that reason exists, even though I can't think of it right now. Let's just accept that Hua-Chang felt the Gaga alarm go off and then popped out into this water and went, oh no, Diancha is drowning. Well, I guess I am an oxygen tank now. But all the jokes aside, we can only really imagine what Hua-Chang is thinking and feeling throughout all this. But we do have plenty of hints. Like these little details that kind of informs the bigger picture for us. His eye, for instance, was described as opening during that second kiss. So it was closed before and right after HuaLian discovered that it was Hua-Chang. And sure, you can attribute some of that to enjoyment, but I think it's about conflict. Like, he knows he's overstepping. When he first addresses HuaLian again on page 309, it is with Your Highness. And then after he's watching HuaLian freak out pretty badly for a bit, his response to that is to say, I'm sorry. Thinking back on his conduct, HuaLian was slightly ashamed and felt that he might have overreacted. Sanlang had meant well, so it was terribly rude of HuaLian to respond in such a frightened manner. But Hua-Chang replied, nothing of the sort. I was the one who crossed the line and offended Gaga. Sanlang should be the one apologizing. So he is like, obviously, right? Regretting that he's overstepped. So why that third kiss, Sanlang? The one above water? Cause like, it is definitely possible to attribute this to the urgency of the situation. The third kiss above water can be explained by HuaLian trashing about as much as he did, making it a very difficult to control sort of situation, and Sundong's limbs were a little bit occupied and HuaLian was panicking, and therefore he wouldn't have shut his mouth even above water. And you're very welcome to this interpretation if that helps you enjoy this ship or this book a lot more. But I want to entertain for a minute that Huachang is in fact not a perfect man ghost, not a perfect male lead. That as with every other character on this board, he has his flaws. In Arc 2, we learn that Huachang, even as a child, is an opportunist. In his first meeting with HuaLian, he ends up taking a piece of him with him, the Red Pearl. During their second meeting, he lies about his family in order to have the opportunity to, spend more time with him, maybe not have to go back to that family, and maybe even go to the mountain with HuaLian. Like, if there's one thing we know about Huachang now, it is that he is a character that wants. Like, it doesn't feel that far removed to me that he might look at the situation and think it's regrettable that it happened this way. But since he's already taken one kiss, taken two kisses, a third one won't hurt worse, right? And with what follows, he regrets all of those decisions, and his gloom only really disappears after HuaLian makes him laugh, because the HuaLian foundations are that strong. So in summary, this whole situation is very regrettable for Huachang, but at the same time, it is also a moment where something he has probably thought about and dreamt about for a long time happens to be necessary, at least for a couple of moments there. And I guess that in the realm of this fantasy world, it is possible to argue that surely Huachang could have figured out another way of delivering air to HuaLian that did not involve ghost CPR. Like, I don't know, maybe you could have created an air bubble or something. I mean, he does all kinds of shit. But in the favor of character agency, like, this is a man who's been yearning for 800 years. I imagine that, well, if this was somewhat necessary, he might, in a moment of weakness, decide that, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. And then he obviously regrets it later, admits that he has overstepped. And it's this kind of conflict between characters that helps bring that tension. And again, remember the author's perspective on this. The kiss needed to happen, because if the kiss didn't happen, we would still be trekking along the same track on our way to 800 years of companionable relationship that's just subtly been turned into a marriage over the course of 8 centuries. And there are only 5 volumes left, we ain't got time for that shit. So what are the results of all of this? Well, first of all, as we already see with HuaLian during the Ghost City date, he is far more flustered around Huachang, and he is also more self-conscious. The first time he visits Ghost City, he has no problem declaring himself to have erectile dysfunction in front of, all these ghosts in order to save some face for this female ghost who is trying to get on with it. But now that it's been brought up again, some ghosts recognize him as that Dao Zhang who did the whole ED spiel. He denies it in front of Huachang. Why is that, HuaLian? Why is that? And Huachang, I think this thing I've been talking about is going to keep happening. I think that HuaLian already making him the exception to his rules and letting him off from this whole thing, from having overstepped like this so easily, it's gonna make Huachang be a bit more careful now. But then the next time, if he is so easily forgiven, will it be that hard to ask for a little more? So I think Huachang might actually end up being a little bit bolder after this, and I think that the tensions between the two could skyrocket. Every situation from now on is a potential supernova. Like we're going to be ablaze. And I mean, we're going to have to be, because like, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? This is one book. This is in one book. Like in one volume. This has to happen in like one volume. Like another possibility, of course, is that HuaLian will be pulling themselves together, just bros being bros, but you know, the veneer of broship is already cracking. It's chipping away. Like, boys, we are on a new track now. Just bros holding hands. Just bros. Unless... And in that case, I think that Volume 4 is going to be the explosion. The very start of their official romantic relationship, so to speak. Like, this could be when we are officially getting together. And then in the rest of the books, their relationship will face numerous trials, you know, along with all the reveals that we are still expecting, and also that fourth arc, which probably has some shit that we're going to have to get through, and you know, everything that is happening in the current timeline. But either way, I am super excited about it. So, other things happened in these chapters as well, I think. I need to check my notes. I actually don't know what else I'm talking about. Oh, okay. Child Spirit. I actually placed the Child Spirit notes close to Mother over here. But it's actually supposed to be over here by Woman at Chandler Protests, because I believe that this woman might be the child's mother. I think the reason why I put it closer to this part is because this note here says mother, and I was thinking about the child's mother. Anyway, let's talk about the Child Spirit for a bit, because it was in Chandler 800 years ago. That's where it originated. So it is a pretty old spirit, but why was it at Mount Yujin? During the first volume, it was there giving HuaLian hints about Xuanji, the ghost bride, and in a sense, helping. Was it helping him? Because it definitely wasn't helping him now. It was trying to impregnate him. And does it have conscious thoughts? What level is it, ghost-wise? Like, are we talking a wrath or below? And perhaps most importantly, what is it going to do for the plot moving forward? Because from the hints in chapters 43, 44, we learned that the mother most likely wanted the child, like there were new clothes and toys, and it seemed to be very anticipated. And also HuaLian and Huachang has this speculation that someone made the abortion happen in order to use the resulting malicious spirit for nefarious things. So does that mean that the child spirit is currently being controlled, or was it controlled before and currently not now? We don't know that. We know that during Arc 2 and the Bai Wuxiang plot, Lang Ying's child was used also for nefarious things, for being kind of the source of the curse. So I wonder if, in Arc 4, will we learn more about the child spirit's origin and what it's been doing up until now? Or is that something we're going to be looking into soon enough? As of right now, the child spirit is bagged and locked away in the jar. So I don't know if we're going to continue following this plotline, if that's going to lead us into something else. I'm kind of hoping that we'll keep going with this, but there's also an opportunity for a lot of other things to happen now that we've kind of rounded off capturing the child spirit. What else? Oh. The Thundermaster appeared, which means that they might be a character in the upcoming arc as well. This is the first time we actually get to see them do anything. They've been mentioned in Arc 1, when Sanlang just kind of names all the different elemental masters. But here we are, they were making the thunder and stuff for the banquet. So I wonder if we will be encountering this character again, and if we will be needing their skills. So for now, I'm just putting them up here with the other heavenly officials. I suppose we also learned that Longchen Cho ascended before Chuen Yizhen, which makes Longchen Cho and the Youngin storyline somewhere before Chuen Yizhen and his storyline. So yeah, Xuan Yizhen is probably quite young, younger than 300 years at least. I suppose it's also fun to mention that Ming Yi was at the banquet being an unbothered king. Like, if I have to be here, at least I'm gonna eat my weight in the food. Make it worth showing up, you know? The one thing that did surprise me about Ming Yi is that he has a lot of followers and quite a lot of lanterns. A commenter pointed out to me that the earth element would involve all kinds of construction happening. Which makes sense, especially if bigger things were being constructed and people made offerings to the Earthmaster. Yeah, it totally makes sense that he's one of the more popular gods then. Even if he is as elusive as he is, I mean personally, but he must take care of his followers somehow if they're still, you know, praying to him. Or the Earthmaster tradition must be really, really strong. I guess the only other thing to mention is that he seemed very surprised when he handed the cup to HuaLian, like pretty shocked that that happened, which I found very funny. But also why? Is it because he somehow feels indebted to HuaLian for saving him? Or is it because, as you know, if you haven't been around lately, or if you don't remember, one of my main theories about Ming Yi is that he is like double agenting with Zhongwu and Huachang. So was the giving of the cup to HuaLian unintentional? Because it seemed unintentional by his reaction, in which case was he kind of panicking about, oh my god, what is Crimson Rain Salt Flower gonna do to me once he finds out that I did this? Like, I still can't decide if he is on the run or if he is up in heaven to do the double agenting thing now that, you know, his cover was blown down in the ghost realm. It's really hard to say. But I am keeping an eye on him and trying to figure out what he is up to at all times. I'm watching you, Ming Yi. So, any other predictions for the upcoming read? Well, I'm hoping that we will learn more about HuaLian's temple, the Thousand Lights Temple. I even made like a note for it so that I can put it up once I know a little bit more about it and, you know, it becomes more relevant. I'm hoping it's gonna be soon. Like right now, I don't even know where it is and where I would put it, but I have a note just in case. And you know, with the current HuaLian development, I'm expecting that to continue throughout this book and throughout the next book, because again, we need to get to that spicy little volume 4 scene, cover scene, that is going to happen because all the cover scenes have happened. The possible exceptions being volume 5 and volume 7, which I know are just different arts than what the Taiwanese artists used for their official covers. But yeah, that's kind of where we are. Like, we have hints for further plots. And again, I think that the three tumors and their stories are going to come up soon enough. But I don't know which one it's going to be first anymore, because I was so convinced we were going to have Sure Voodoo in this book because of the water theme. Seems I was bamboozled, completely thrown off, confused. I was wrong about that. That's fine. But that does leave me at a blank regarding where we are going next. Because now we're at the Child Spirit, which seems to have a thread back into the Chandler plot. So does that connect to any of the other things on the board? Or is that its own little thing? Like, I don't know which part of the spider web we are threading right now. But I'm excited to find out. I just hope we don't get trapped. But before we can continue on with our volume 3 read, I do have some other things in my backlog that we need to get through. So first of all, I have a question from the Temple of Corkboards that I need to answer, and this time around, it's another one from Dark, who keeps winning these competitions. Are you stalking me? Dark, are you back here? I don't know, somehow you seem to know how long I spend on my recordings. It's kind of sus. Jokes aside, this is another question from the lovely Dark Yoko Kitsune, and it says, hello Puffin, you know the rules. I would like you to reimagine the characters in the settings of a merman pirate. We literally had The Little Mermaid for the last read along. Speculate on both possibilities, merman HuaLian and pirate HuaLian, and merman Huachang and pirate Huachang. Wait, do you mean like merman HuaLian and pirate Huachang, and then Merman Hua-Chang and Pirate HuaLian. And bonus, put Feng in the same scenario. How much of a disaster will this be? Oh no. Well, we do kind of have our Little Mermaid AU. However, I think Hua-Chang is the mermaid in this one. And HuaLian is the pirate prince, I suppose. That's gotta be what he's gonna be. Okay. Merman Hua-Chang and Pirate Prince HuaLian to the same plot beats of The Little Mermaid. In where perhaps pirates, you know, they hunt for mermaids for some reason. Maybe mermaids are special. Their shells or whatever are pretty valuable on the market. Something. Or, you know, just the fact that mermaids sometimes are associated with siren song, and the pirates are thinning them out because too many mermaids means too many casualties at sea. So enters HuaLian, who, instead of killing, you know, a young mermaid baby Honghonger, I want Honghonger in all my fics now, thank you, ends up letting him go, ends up saving him from the other pirates because he's just a baby. He's just a baby. And even though his, you know, pirate mentor, I suppose, very much is like, you've got to kill this little merman baby because it's gonna become a big and powerful and evil merman one day and it's gonna eat you. And then that changes the course of Merman Hua-Chang's life for forever. And in the future, he ends up not eating HuaLian, but saving him from drowning when his entire boat goes down or whatever. And then when we continue to like the beats of The Little Mermaid and Hua-Chang somehow becomes a human, but like I don't know if he's gonna be a Mewtwo, and I don't know how much the voice thing comes into this. We'll see. But he has to like disguise himself as a pirate in order to be close to HuaLian and stuff, and he's gonna be like stereotypical pirate. Like we're gonna give him an eye patch and everything. Is he missing an eye? I don't know if he's missing an eye. Maybe the eye is what he has to give up in order to become human. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, we get our little rendition of Kiss the Boy. Yeah, this is a musical now. And something, I don't know who's the big bad in this, but you know, it's just vibes, okay? I don't have a great ending yet, I just know that they're gonna be happily ever after, yada yada yada. Now for the opposite, Merman HuaLian and Pirate Hua-Chang. Let's go with some TGCF themes. I say smiling, although I've just been sat here for a couple of minutes thinking about how to make this as painful as possible. Okay, picture this. HuaLian is a merman. He is a prince, because I'm a sucker for this whole royalty thing. He's gonna be a prince, okay? And he is a very special merman. He has always been a very special merman. He is like blessed by merman heaven, I suppose. He has beautiful golden scales, and these beautiful golden scales have special properties, like they're magical, if you will. Because of HuaLian's golden scales, he can breathe above water. Like they give him the ability to go above water, as long as he has one of the scales with him. Now, the mermaid kingdom of Shanla it's beautiful, it's prosperous, etc., etc. Lots of fish, all that good stuff. And then a conflict happens because mermaids and their kingdoms, they're very, like, they're prone to conflict because they need to poach for good areas, good places for finding, like, they're a bit dolphin-y in that sense, a little territorial. And like these evil mermaids, I haven't figured this out yet, okay? But a big threat or something is gonna happen, which is gonna force the Chandler merman into a corner. Like, quite literally, they can't escape, because trying to escape means getting hunted down by this tremendous force that is hunting them right now. It could be humans as well. They could be humans. I haven't really decided, but I kind of want them to be mermen as well. Now, in order for the Chandler merman to escape this little, not really ambush, but like this attack that's forcing them, you know, into the shallows, really, away from their kingdom and into the shallows, which is even more dangerous. In order to avoid this, HuaLian decides that he needs to get his people to move over land and into the ocean on the other side of the land. In order for that to happen, his people need to be able to breathe above water while they're being transported there. I'm not sure how the transporting is going to happen just yet, if they're going to be able to actually grow legs and become human, kind of, because of the magic in HuaLian's scales. But he has to get a lot of people to move over, like, this distance, you know. So he ends up prying out a lot of his scales, very, very many scales, to hand out to these people so that they can make it to the other shore, across the land and to the ocean beyond that. Basically, HuaLian as a merman more or less ruins what makes him a very special merman in order to try to save people. And it's tragic, it's gonna be painful and stuff, and it doesn't really work out very well. Arc 2, I hear you. So how does HuaChang fit into this? I forgot that he has to be in this. So HuaChang is a pirate in like current day. Maybe HuaLian's shells, the little scales, has the opposite effect for humans. They can let humans breathe underwater. And he uses that once to save little HuaChang, who is about to drown, by letting him breathe underwater. And then he, like, this child now has this huge imagination of what is happening underwater and like how wonderful and beautiful this merman was who saved him and whatever. So he goes back to land, to this town, and decides, fuck it, I need to get in a profession that lets me be on the sea so that I can repay this somewhat. Oh yeah, and that could add to that conflict. So HuaLian wants to move all these mermen, you know, over land, probably with the help of some humans, you know, in order to, so there needs to be like an alliance there. Let's say the humans discover the power of these shells, lets them breathe underwater, and then there's like going to be like a major betrayal where the humans take these shells for themselves, these scales, and use them to go underwater to find all the riches that the mermen have, and lets all the mermen who were on land, who they've taken these scales from, just die. Yeah, it's gonna be a super light and heartfelt story, this one. No idea how I'm gonna turn it into a happy ending, but yeah, that's two stories for you. One quite sweet one, and then one that's gonna be really painful. Gosh, I should have written these down. These could make good fan fictions, actually. Note these down for later. Huh. So you want me to do the same scenario for Feng Cheng? Okay, let me just pick one scenario for them. Feng Cheng, I mean, they're either both pirates or both mermaids, depending on which of these AUs it is. But if they are separate people, in like a separate story, I suppose, that is about them. Yeah, sorry, I'm revealing myself as such a main character simp here. I'm like, yeah, this is the story of HuaLian. But if it is the story of Feng Cheng, Mooching would make for a great merman, I think. But it would be funnier if it's Feng Xin. So Feng Xin is the merman, and he's a Chandler merman, probably like super tough guy, and he is on land, super mute, big burly guy. And the reason why he's on land and mute is because he is trying to follow his prince, who is also on land because he's looking for the man of his dreams. And Feng Xin is trying to follow him to make sure that nothing bad happens, but ends up, in the human realm. And HuaLian is the one who's obsessed with the human realm and knows things about the human realm because he's read a lot and studied artifacts and shit. Feng Xin doesn't know shit, so he is a dumb, mute hunk. Or basically, that's what Mooching thinks he is. Who is Mooching in this story? I don't know if this is a modern age or a period sort of setting. It would be really funny if he's like a marine biologist or something, and he like works at an aquarium, and then Feng Xin is there like being hired help because the man's gotta eat. Like Mooching might catch him like at a pier trying to catch fish and just like eating them with his raw teeth. And he's like, oh no, this man needs help, like professional help, preferably. But also he has a sneaking suspicion that this man is not a man after all. He might be a merman who is somehow a human, like there might be hints or whatever, and Mooching is in the know about things like this because he's researched this kind of shit. And yeah, it's probably not good to let a merman be in the hands of the authority or whatever. So he's gonna try to learn to communicate with this merman in order to get him back to the ocean, because he seems to refuse to go back to the ocean no matter what Mooching tries. He's adamant that he wants to stay on land. So here we are stuck together trying to do opposite things until they learn to communicate. Alright, so that was my Feng modern merman AU. Oh, was I supposed to make Mooching a pirate? Oh, whatever. Sorry. Reading comprehension through the roof over here. Sorry about that, dog. I still hope that my answers were somewhat satisfactory. I had a lot of fun thinking about these AUs anyway. Maybe I should actually have written them down as well. Thank you for asking your questions. I will talk to you in the server soon. So a couple of more things on my list. First up, mentions. Because I'm not gonna fall that far behind on my mentions ever again. Thank you to everyone who supported me on Ko-fi for the past 2 weeks. Here are your shoutouts. And first one out is a name tag update for the wonderful Alta. Thank you so much for coming back to support me once again. So I made your tag slightly bigger, and I also got you this flower as a thank you for all your donations. I have another flower right here. This yellow one goes out to Dragon Love. Thank you so much for your donation this week. I have a few hearts coming up. This one here is for Shori. Another one here for the lovely Iwana. And this last one here is for Mince. Thank you so much for your donation. And again this time I have a couple of bigger updates for some of the people who have been here for a long time and who keeps coming back and who keeps being so generous with me. And this first one here is a flower for Ouija. Don't know exactly which ones these are, but they look like the same ones that my HuaLian figurine has, so I'm gonna say it's a Crown Prince flower. And lastly, this white flower over here is for the wonderful SJ. I was very happy to see your name again. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, I can't believe that it's already been more than a year since I started this channel. And thank you guys so much for being here to help me build it. This is the coffee board for this week, and if you would like to join this board, have your name up here and maybe collect some pins, you're free to do so by donating to me on Ko-fi. The link will be in the description for you. And the last thing on my to-do list that I've been pushing back for a while now are these packages. I have a couple of packages that came in November actually. One of them while I was out traveling, and the other one before I even left to go traveling. So yay! The reason why I haven't opened them is because opening a package takes a lot of time for me because I want to appreciate every part of it. And the last few videos I've just been focused on actually getting the reading done. But again, I still want to give a chance to my other viewers to have a look at what I've been receiving. And even more importantly, these packages are from people who are watching this channel, who are being a part of this community and building it together with me, and who want to show their appreciation in some way or another. And getting to see just a little part of you and what you would like to share with me, it just makes me so happy and so excited. So even if you just want to send me a letter, typed up, handwritten, whatever, or if you just want to send me, I don't know, like a sticker, or maybe even a book that you would like to recommend. I'm just super excited to open up these pieces of you and to appreciate all the time and effort you put into making these packages. So without further ado, let's start with this one. This one I know is from user Misfortunes in my server and here on YouTube, who is also known as D, my junior official, one of my mods. And D has already sent me so many funny handcrafted things, among others, one of my coasters, and also some coffee-stained art, so I'm super excited to see what D has come up with this time. Here we are! So the first thing that's greeting me is this envelope and it says read me. I peeked into it and there's stuff in here that I probably shouldn't look at yet. I saw something that looked like a bag of cookies, but read me. This little cat is adorable, dude. This is so cute. I don't want to destroy him. How do I open it without ruining her? Success. Ooh, this is cork. So you said to ignore that that this was written in November. This was written Friday, November 7th. I am so sorry, T. But in my defense, I only received the package in December. I will still appreciate your words. I love the little stickers, the little fox and the little butterfly. Absolutely adore this. Right, dear Puffin, we meet again. I wanted to celebrate this beautiful month of ours with some gifts. Find enclosed the typical Madeira cake. What is that? The not so typical, but I hope they're good, chocolate cookies. Oh, from the Dover region? A region of Portugal, I'm assuming. An art project I tried. Look, I love all your art projects, see. Keep trying, honestly. I hope you can come see them displayed all around my apartment one day. As we follow along your TGCF journey, we're reminded of why we followed you in the first place. You're so cute. Stop. I chose to new arcs to pass, mysteries to unfold, meetings to be had. Soon, TGCF will hold no more black boxes to you. I love how we're saying soon. Well, honestly, I'm being so slow with this. Hopefully, I will have gotten through quite a chunk of Volume 4 before the new year, but it's going a lot slower than I had anticipated. I'm so happy for the privilege to experience this with you first now. Have a wonderful November, Adriana. And then there's a follow-up letter, and it says clearly on top of it, second letter, read only after the purple one. And it says Saturday, November 8th, so literally the day after. And in between we have, oh my gosh, are they bookmarks? This is so cool. Books, but first coffee. This is adorable. Look at these. These are so cute. These are giving me ideas for bookmarks to make with my students. These are very, very cute. I'm going to make sure to put them up on the postcard board, but I put that in the other room and forgot to take it out. Let me put them up next time, okay? I'll put them over here for now. And let's read the pink letter. Written one day after this one. Dear Puffin, it is the next day and I finally finished your art project. It was frustrating but fun. As for the items I added, Bulacha Maria biscuit. I know these are popular in other countries, but some people in the server don't know them. Well, me included, I think. I posted a few recipes that use them. Okay. Well, it is the Christmas season, so it's a great time to try new recipes, so maybe this package arrived at the perfect time. Piseas marmelada, which is a sort of paste. No, this is not marmalade. Okay, because that's what it was. That's what I was going to guess. It's a sweet paste made with quince, marmallow. Quite a popular bread spread, okay. The best is the one my mom just made, but because of shipping, store-bought will have to do. Well, I guess I'm going to have to come by and try the one your mom makes then. In Brazil, they do goiabada, a similar recipe, but with guavas. Instead of quinces. It might be quinces. I'm not sure what this is actually. It's a sort of palm fruit, actually. Interesting. I've never heard of these. I am Northern European, after all. We hardly grow anything. I am not going to try to butcher this Portuguese you've just written down for me. But I'm super excited to try these pastries. Thank you so much for your letters, Dee. And they're going up on the board. Just give me some time. I just noticed that you put stickers on this part as well. Thank you for the memories. Oh, that's so sweet. These are so cute. Thank you so much, Dee. As for the art project, oh my goodness! Look, it's a puffin. It's a painted puffin on a piece of cork. This is amazing. I could, in theory, use this for sticking things on. This could definitely go up. Oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. I'm placing her over here for now, but this is so cool. Thank you so much, Dee. And this was to protect the art, but I guess this is an invitation for me to try a piece of Puffin art as well. Thank you so much. And now, let's have a look. Ah! Okay, the chocolate biscuits you were on about, these are so cute. As in the container is really cute, I really like the container. So they come packaged in this bag, so I can open them and put them in the container. This is gonna be my snack later when reading is starting to get tiring, I'm sure. Ooh, these are the Maria biscuits you were on about. Oh! You know what, I think we do have these. I think I've been eating these since I was a child. They look super familiar. I'm gonna have to taste one to know if they're the same. Might be a different recipe. But yeah, I do know these. These are so popular, even in Northern Europe. They're just everywhere. They come in a different colored package though. Usually they're red. But you're right, I do know these, I do. I didn't know they were Portuguese though. On the side here, oh, Madeira Island cake. Oh, this is one of the ones you mentioned, was it? Cake from Madeira Island. What's in this? Oh, it seems like it's based on, it's got fruits and almonds, so it's like a fruit cake. I'm super excited about trying this. I'll let you know once I have. I'm gonna put it to the side for now. But yeah, this could have been like my birthday cake, actually. Thank you so much, Dee. And lastly, this is the one you were on about, this sort of spread. You're going to have to let me know what I can use this for. Can I put it on like bread? Is that what you would do with it? Either way, dearest Dee, thank you so much for this November package that you sent me for our month. November was my birthday month, but it was also Dee's birthday month and so many other people's birthday month. Literally best month. So thank you so much for sharing so much happiness with me for the month of November. I hope that I can endeavor to do the same for you. I adore you, Adriana. I hope you had a lovely November and a lovely December, and that the year and the end of the year is going to treat you well. So that package traveled all the way from Portugal. This one's traveled a little further. This one's come all the way from Singapore. It is another package from my dear Aria, who went traveling to Japan, actually. And I know she said she was going to pick up some things for me, and I think some of them are coming in this package here. I've been warned that there's going to be Alien Stage things in this, because if you don't know, I'm a big Alien Stage fan as well. We did an Alien Stage watch party in my server months and months ago, so people might not have caught on to that and might not have remembered, but I do love Alien Stage. And while that hasn't been my main fandom for a while now, because TGCF has just taken over my brain, I still really appreciate the characters and just the novelty of the media that this story is being told through. There are a lot of things individually packaged inside of here. I'm not sure if I should pull everything out first. Let's just carefully pull everything out. Ugh. Oh my goodness. And I think that was everything. This is a lot, Aria. But I am so excited to go through this stack. I don't know if there's a letter in here. Let's just have a look really quickly without looking too hard. Found it. All right, it says read me first, so I'm glad I looked for it. Okay, to Puffin, everything is safe to show read on camera. Thank you so much, Aria. I don't want to ruin the stickers while opening this. Oh, they came off so easily. I need to stop agonizing over the stickers. Aria! Thank you for sending me another letter on this beautiful, beautiful stationery. The last one was written on this kind of stationery as well. I remember the music notes, but I wonder if the letter was a little bit bigger. This is more like a card. But just as lovely. I love this, okay? Dearest Puffin, happy birthday, dearest. I hope this birthday package reaches you on time. It did. I was just away after it arrived. I'm so sorry. Enjoy all the goodies, which I will. I really will. I may have lost my head a little, but more fun for you. So sorry I could not fit the Alien Stage posters in. So I will have to pass those to you at a later time. Oh my goodness. Yeah? Is that a challenge? You should come over and give them to me in person. There is one pack I call the bag of spoilers. You may open that bag without worry, as each spoiler inside is individually wrapped and labeled very carefully, like an advent calendar. It's like a calendar that I can open the further I progress into TGCF. Can't believe it's already 9 months since I've known you. Oh yeah, we're going on a year soon. When would that be? In February? Yeah, we started talking in February. All this time together has been so fun, so rewarding, so enriching, and so painful. Thanks for introducing me to Alien Stage, by the way. I am simultaneously so grateful and so, well, you know. Yeah, I do know. I hope it helps that I spend time being in pain with you. I don't think it's possible to go through Alien Stage without, feeling it again and again and again. It just doesn't stop. I can't numb myself to it. May this new year in your life and channel bring you more blessings, love, joy, and fulfillment. Looking forward to the continued fandom and so much more journey with you. Thank you for being the appreciator of my bountiful emotions. Love, Arya. You're so funny. You're actually so funny. Thank you so much, Arya. Again, I'll put the cards up on the board and show it off later. I am so sorry that I was not well enough prepared for this. But yes, I found a bag of spoilers, so I can open them and just put them in the right order. I have spoilers for like several volumes, and they're all labeled, so I haven't opened them yet. But one day. So the spoilers Arya have sent me are for after volume 4. That's still so long. That's so long. But it's like the soonest spoiler I have as of right now. We have a spoiler for after volume 5, which is and volume 6. Oh my goodness. I have quite a few things I can open after volume 6, but volume 4 is not that far away. That's doable. It's not gonna happen this year, but it's gonna happen in January, I swear. Filing those away for later. And this is a Sanrio character bag full of things. Oh, very, very cute things. This is a photo card holder, isn't it? I'll put one of my photo cards in this one. I've got several Alien Stage ones, but also quite a few K-pop ones. See, this is so cute. Do you have an idea of who I should put in this one? Is there an intention behind it? You should let me know. What is this? Singapore Merlion. Is this something I could put potentially on a fridge? I don't have a fridge that's magnetic on the right now actually, but I'll find a place for it. You just wait. Oh, delicious peach tea. Heck yes, served by a cat. So where does the cat just pop out when I make the tea? Does he serve it to me? What do you mean there's no cat? Scam. And also, is the hair pretty? Oh, it is! It's a little hair clip with this beautiful flower in all my favorite colors. Coincidentally, I am wearing this hair clip that you gave me. I didn't expect to get another one, actually. Maybe I could just put it right here with the butterfly. I don't know what this looks like. It's back there. I hope it looks good. I don't have a mirror, I only have the camera. So that was cute. And there are more. You said you lost your head with this, and I see it. You really did. You're spoiling me. I am being so spoiled. And in this one, we have several things going on. Whoa. Ah! I just smile whenever I see HuaLian. It's an automatic thing by now. But we have an official HuaLian something. Double badge. What is a double badge? How is that different from a single badge? Is it just something we say because they're a ship badge, or does it mean something? It is a singular badge. So double must just mean, you know, the two of them are on it, right? Either way, thank you so much for the HuaLian merch. I love this one so much. There is something about the way that, like, look at Huacha in this one. Like, look at him. Look at how he's looking at him. Look at how he's looking at him. He's so soft. Get you someone who looks at HuaLian like Huachang looks at HuaLian. It's just... he's so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. He gives me feelings, okay? Thank you, but oh my god, there's so much. There's so much TGCF stuff here. Oh no. Oh no. What are these things? I am so confused. Oh no! Hello. Oh my goodness, he's adorable. He's so wonderful. He has a little tail. He has a little tail. Oh my goodness. It's Fox HuaLian. It's HuaLian the fox. He's adorable. Look at his little face. Look at his little face. Yeah, so I'm in love with this little finger doll. Like, that's what he is, right? He's a finger doll. Yeah, you've already won, Aria. What else can you do to me? This is like literally the best thing. He's gonna be on my finger as I read. He's gonna be very distracting, but he's gonna be here on my finger as I read. At least for a little bit. I'm gonna have to keep him. He's so wonderful. This one here is a photo card, and is this manhwa? I don't know, it could be from the manhwa, because I've seen a little bit of art from there, but I don't think I've seen enough to actually recognize it. Oh, is that Sanlang? This has got to be Sanlang. I'm gonna be so disappointed in myself if it isn't. I think it is. I've seen Sky in my server has a cosplay of this Sanlang, the manhwa Sanlang, and I remember the shirt looks just like this, so I'm guessing this is Sanlang. God, he's so pretty. Was this a draw one? Did you know that he was gonna be in it? I can't see his name on this, so maybe it was a little bit random. I quite love him though. Thank you so much. And I mean, this keeps going. Is this TGCF as well? I think so. Gosh, I never buy these like blind box things, but I think you might have convinced me, Arya. You've convinced me to come to the dark side. Ah, it's Sanlang. I got Sanlang with his red finger thread going everywhere, going crazy. Love the symbolism. It's going to HuaLian, red thread of fate. And this bone has art on the bag. That's really cute. Actually, I don't want to ruin the bag. I'm gonna be very careful opening this. It's got the HuaLian one. I would say it's matching, but I don't think it is. It's made of a slightly different make and very different art style actually. This one's got the red thread as well, but it's not like attached to HuaLian or anything. It's just attached to the branch, and then there's like a lot of butterflies around. Do you see what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna pretend they're matching though. Well, I just found another one of the silver bags in my lap, and that is probably the HuaLian to that HuaLian one. Well, it was HuaLian, but it was a slightly different one. This one is like a frame from the anime, but he's so pretty. He's so pretty. He's so cute. Yeah, if you can't tell by now, I am pretty weak for HuaLian. He's such a wonderful character, such wonderful design. He's so lovely. He's so pretty. And then lastly, again, I can't believe you got me one of those. All of them look so cute. I won't be disappointed getting any of these, I think. But oh my goodness, I can't believe you got me one of those. So these are like blind box things where you open them and you get like random dice, I guess. They're not really dice, they're like little boxes. They look like little like bamboo boxes. And it seems like there's only one inside, so you get one out of these 12 different ones. And then there's like a really special HuaLian one that is like one in every 144. But as you can see, there's like quite a few options. So what are we hoping for? I'm kind of hoping for the Honghonger one, because I don't really have a lot of Honghonger stuff. And they're so cute. I wouldn't mind a HuaLian one either. I wouldn't mind any of these actually, they're all wonderful. Okay, let's do it, let's go for it. Oh! It's Honghonger! It's a Honghonger dumpling. Oh my god, he's so cute. He's crying. Who did this to him? Who made him a dumpling? Who made him so edible? Oh no. You can stack them? I need more. So, how much pile do we have left? Arya, you really are spoiling me so much. I'll make up for this somehow. I'll make you really good hot chocolate in bed. Oh, this is the alien stage bag. I've got the tail in his little cat onesie. The acrylic stand. Oh no. This is so cute. So did you get yourself the Ivan one? Just asking. You got me an Ivan one. Oh my god, you got Ming and Ivan in the cafe collab. These are so cute. Oh my god. My Alien Stage merch collection is just gone. Oh, there's a Till one too. They kind of match. I've never seen these designs before though. Ah, it's Sua. And I would have shown them together like this if I'd known that Sua was there as well, but found her. Oh my god, are these like mini standees? Oh my god, these are adorable. Where did you find these? These are amazing. Oh my lord, and this little Sua. She's so gorgeous. She's so cute. Yeah, you went absolutely crazy. Where do you... Did you have like a whole suitcase that was just my things coming back from Japan? Just asking. I know some of them were in Singapore though. I know you went to Singapore for some things. Oh no. Oh no, this is so gorgeous. Is this a poster? It is absolutely gorgeous. It's got HuaLian catching HuaLian. Like a parallel to, you know, HuaLian catching HuaLian. I love this. It looks like a big sticker sheet. What exactly is this? Oh, it's transparent? Is this like a sticker that you put on to this like paper? Like it's like a DIY poster where you put the things on? I don't understand. That's gotta be it, right? I'm gonna have to look into this. Let me know what exactly this is, because it's kind of cool. I've never seen anything like this before. And also the art is absolutely gorgeous. Next, it's an acrylic stand of some kind. My goodness, the art is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, so they are two separate acrylics like that, and then you slide them together like so. It's a HuaLian sliding acrylic, and I don't think it matters which one goes on top, but I love this. This is such a neat idea. I want this for all my couples. And it's got like the butterflies coming through here. Oh my goodness. That's a creative kind of acrylic stand. I don't think I've seen something like that before. I'm seeing a lot of things for the first time. It's HuaLian. Why is he so gorgeous? This is like Western clothes, Western style. Like it's giving European aristocrat vibes, except hot. Very. Maybe a little bit like Dunmay steampunk AU. I love this. I love this so much. It's so pretty. I wonder if I've seen this design before. It feels a little familiar to me. I might have seen this design before. Oh my gosh, is this the HuaLian matching one? Aria, where will I put all of these? You're going to have to come over here and you're going to help me organize all my stuff. Because you've like doubled all my collections just now. It's a HuaLian one. God, he's so hot. He's super hot in this one. Husbands. What can I say? What can I say? I don't even get to breathe like between the hits here. Oh my goodness. Wait. This is not his usual fit. This is so different. This is so different, but it's very, very gorgeous. I can tell it's HuaLian though, because, well, the art style is quite different, but this back here, I think those are his characters. They look very familiar. I've tried to memorize what they look like. I don't know how to write them at all, but I've tried to memorize just the look of them. So different artists, different art style, but this is so fun. This is gorgeous. He can stare at me as I finish this video. Next to last one. Yeah, it's just HuaLian. That's why I'm grinning, like from ear to ear. Ta-da! HuaLian in Ghost City. On their date, one of many to come. I'm so stoked about this. And lastly, a little box here with some cute things. Ooh, like little bookmarks that I could actually really use. They feel really like textured and fun. They'd be great to write on actually. These for notes. These are cool. I'm gonna put them aside for now. See if I get some use out of them. Christmas ornament. At least that is the vibe I'm getting. It is not. I mean it is. It's very Christmassy. But it's scented. I opened it without even considering that it might be scented. Where should I hang this? Should I hang this? Like, I'm putting it on my microphone so I can look at it while I record. Oh no. You got me Alien Stage song cards. So we've got Blink Gone, Yoram, Riga featuring Luca, Huna, and we've got Cure featuring Ivan and Till. These are really cool though. I really like these ones. No idea where to put them. I'll have to think of something. And oh my goodness, photo cards. Like lenticular cards. Like, oh, these are making me go dizzy already. Oh my god, we've got HuaLian, Under an Umbrella, Wat Chong, Pei Ming. Oh my god, I can't believe you got me a Pei Ming lenticular photo card. Shellian. Cute. HuaLian. I've seen this art on like covers, like a piano cover of one of the songs. This is one of my favorite arts. It's so cute. I love the Sun Long staring just wistfully at this person. Oh, I miss these two. I miss these two a lot. And lastly, Windmaster. Oh my goodness. I was just talking to Aria today about how TGCF has very little side character merch. And here you are, pulling out the big guns. You're sending me all the side character merch that you could find. Oh, this is wonderful. These are so lovely. Aria, once again, thank you so much for taking the time and the energy and the resources and everything to pack me this package and send it all the way from Singapore. It's brought me a lot of joy already. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with all the new merch I have. I have to figure out how to display it properly. I'm gonna need another corkboard, I feel. But that was so fun. This was so fun. And I feel super motivated to get through Volume 3 so that I can get through Volume 4 and start opening some of these spoiler packages, because apparently there are spoilers that I should be uncovering. I'm in this weird little bubble of mine where I feel like the TGCF that I've discovered is everything TGCF. Like, I know there's going to be more, but I have this like bubble sort of feeling where nothing I don't know feels like it matters yet. I mean, it's going to matter. It's going to hit me really hard, and then you're going to be like, I told you so. I feel it coming. But as of right now, my bubble is very comfortable, I say, despite remembering Arc 2. But the beginning of Arc 3 has been so much fun, and I am super excited to keep going through it, to keep going until I can finish Volume 3 and finally jump into Volume 4, and hopefully Volume 4, that's gonna be this month, hopefully. So now, finally, before I can start reading, I just need to tidy up around me a little bit, and I will be right back with the reading of chapter 45. So see you in a minute. I'm back. After, cleaning up all of the stuff, that was a lot of stuff that needed cleaning up. Again, super overwhelmed by all your generosity, Aria, and to everyone who sent me things. And Aria has given me quite a few spoilery things that I won't be able to open before later. This is for after Volume 6. From after Volume 4, which is the most recent one, after Volume 5, and another one for after Volume 6. But other people have also sent me things. I have this one that I can't open until after Volume 7, and then this one, which is not for after Volume 8, so after everything. And I also have the Volume 8 special edition things, that some of the things I vaguely remember that I can open after Volume 4, I think. But you're gonna have to remind me of this, because I didn't really make notes, and I was told stuff about this way back when I was still watching the Donghua. But I do know that one of the posters are now safe, and it's not the one with leaves. So I thought I'd open this one as well to be like, well, I do have a little bit of an advent calendar. This one seems to have leaves, maybe, like little red leaves. No, wait, this one definitely has leaves. This is like maple leaves. It's gotta be this one that's not safe right now. But this one should be. So putting the spoilers aside, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this one. It's a small poster. Oh my god. Oh my god. No way, it's got Hong Honger. Okay, so this is a poster. And it's HuaLian and he's so gorgeous. What is this art style? Why is he so pretty? Look at him. And you've got function and mooching over here. Oh my gosh, I love that hairstyle on mooching as well. And then you've got little Hong Honger here just watching behind a pillar. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. Is this his mom? No. They've got like the whisk and everything. Is this supposed to be Ming Yi? Like, it's very, very different from the Donghua interpretation, but I'm guessing it might be Ming Yi. If it isn't HuaLian's mom, it looks like it could be the mom, but she's never been described as carrying around like a whisk like that. Neither has Ming Yi, but he is a cultivator, so maybe. I'm gonna have to get your expert opinion on this. It's a bit, yeah. I don't know. Is it his mom or is it Ming Yi? But oh my god, look at this. Look at this. It's so gorgeous. I want it up on my wall, but I don't want to ruin the poster. I wonder if I need to find like a picture frame for it. Let me see if I can't find a picture frame. Yeah, this was exciting. I'm so happy that I got to see this. I know it's been available to me for a while now. I just keep forgetting to take it out whenever I'm recording a video. But now it's finally done. I've discovered the mysteries of the Volume 8 poster. And these are nice, not too sweet. They're gonna be my midnight reading snacks. Because yes, that's where we are now. We're at reading, finally. And it's taken me a while to get there this evening. There have been a few interruptions. And also, I ended up doing other things this afternoon instead of reading, and now it's midnight, guys, and I'm going to read because my circadian rhythms are out of whack anyway, so why not? It is, after all, my break. I don't have work in the morning. Can you believe I said that? I usually say I have work in the morning. So we'll see how this goes. My voice might give out before I want to give up, so we'll see. We'll see. I don't even know how long these chapters are going to be. The first one doesn't even look that long. It only looks to be about 10 pages. That's a joke. I'm probably gonna have to read at least 2 chapters, which altogether will be 30 pages? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. But I feel like it has to be at least that much to make up for all the non-new content, all the well, there's tons of new content, just a lot of me showing off how absolutely lucky I am to have such wonderful and generous people in my community. That all said, whether you spend time in my community by being active in the server, by posting comments here on YouTube, or by sending me gifts and letters, or by just listening to these videos, making me a part of your day and giving me your precious time and attention. No matter in what capacity, you are a part of this community and I adore you. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And with all that said, let us read Chapter 45 of Heaven Official's Blessing. To compose in Nuit Blanche, which is probably French, I do not know how to say that. Fragrance added by red sleeves. This comes with a footnote already, which is: fragrance added by red sleeves is a verse from a Song Dynasty poem depicting the arrival of an elegant beauty while the scholar studies through the night. The fragrance refers to incense and red sleeves to the beauty. The art of incense is delicate and time-consuming, so this paints an ambiance that is warm, sweet, and long-lasting. All right. So, fragrance added by red sleeves is a verse. So, the arrival of an elegant beauty, but to compose in Nuit Blanche, what does that even mean? It sounds like white night or blank night. Sleepless night. To compose in sleepless night. So to compose in a sleepless night and then for beauty to arrive. I'm guessing while the scholar is composing some sort of poem. All right. So very like poetic sort of title this time around. Like I feel like you need to know several references to understand what this means. What this is gonna mean for our boys. It's even more confusing to me, actually. But okay, red sleeves, that could be Huachang, right? Like if we take the red in a literal sense. But the only way to find out is to get to reading. This was a question to which HuaLian already vaguely knew the answer. But Huachang's reaction was not what he expected. Yeah, because HuaLian has just asked, Sanlong, do you know where Thousand Lights Temple is? After a brief silence, Huachang blurted out, I'm sorry. HuaLian was puzzled. What? And I mean, same, I am so puzzled, what do you mean? His first assumption was that if Thousand Lights Temple wasn't some kind of joke, the individual most directly tied to the incident could only be Huachang. But no matter how off the mark he might have been with his guess, there was no reason for Huachang to apologize. Huachang didn't respond, just gestured HuaLian to keep walking with him, so HuaLian followed his lead. They walked for a while, and after making a turn, the sight before him opened to a broad horizon. Before HuaLian's eyes rose a temple that glowed with quiet transcendence. Oh, it's the temple. It's the temple. Okay. Before HuaLian's eyes rose a temple that glowed with quiet transcendence. In an instant, his breath hitched. All around them, the colors of the ghost realm crisscrossed, smoky grays and vivid scarlets. Surrounded by such a backdrop stood that temple, majestic and splendid, its thousands of lights resplendent as though this were paradise itself. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're here. We're here. We found the temple, guys. It's in Ghost City. Where's my notes? There it is. I'm not sure where to put this. I should probably put it like under HuaLian's temples, under Pucci, but at the same time it is in Ghost City, so what if I put it right here? Ghost City, Thousand Lights Temple, next to Paradise Manor and the Gambler's Den. Makes sense, right? Oh, I forgot. I was gonna bring him with me. A temple founded on such radiance and brilliance was out of place, sitting within the rowdy, chaotic pandemonium of Ghost City, but it inspired awe all the same. The second that one laid eyes upon it, it left a deep, enduring impression. It took a long time before HuaLian found his voice. This is... The pair stood before the temple, gazing at the structure with admiration. Huachang raised his head slightly and explained. It was a mid-autumn festival a few days ago, and I figured Gaga would probably join that rabble in their frivolous games. So I set this place up to provide Gaga with some amusement while attending the banquet, to make things interesting and relieve your boredom. Ellipsis reply, to relieve your boredom? Seriously, Huachang, are you saying that you built this a few days ago for fun? Seems fake, but I have no way to refute that actually. He really might have. Huachang's approach to relieving boredom was much too sensational. For the sake of HuaLian's amusement, he had built a temple and raised 3,000 blessing lanterns of everlasting light. Huachang lowered his head, fixing his cuffs as he continued. I didn't want you to know because I arranged all this without permission. Pray Gaga isn't offended that I built Gaga's temple in such an unruly place. So cute, so cute. So many Gagas, by the way. 4 in just 2 pages. Volume 3 might be about to become the most Gaga'd volume of them all, if this continues. HuaLian immediately shook his head. It seemed Huachang hadn't wanted to tell HuaLian of it because he thought he was causing HuaLian trouble. He really didn't know what to say. At this point, giving thanks again would fall flat. Thus, HuaLian steadied himself, drew in a deep breath, and proceeded to admire this Thousand Lights temple with renewed care. A brief moment later, he tilted his head and asked, This temple is a singular beautiful work of architecture, and massive as well. The artistry and craftsmanship of its edifice is divine. It couldn't have been constructed in mere days. Sanlong, you didn't build this only recently, did you? Yeah. HuaLian clocked you. I mean, I was ready to believe him, but HuaLian stood on his. suspicion here, and he was right. See, this is again why HuaLian is superior to me. Huazhang smiled. Of course not. Gaga has a good eye. This was built a long time ago. I never found a use for it, so I had it hidden away. No one has ever been allowed inside. I'll have to thank Gaga for finally giving it purpose and allowing it to see the light of day. Liar! Come on. Come on. Now that HuaLian's pointed that out once, I'm like, yeah, you did not build this. And just leave it empty. This is premeditated. This is... You built this temple and you know exactly who you built this for. From the very first day. And we're adding 2 new Gagas to the list. HuaLian was surprisingly relieved to hear this. If it had been built a long time ago for some other reason, but never properly settled into a use, then it had only been adopted for convenience sake. If Huazhang really had constructed a temple just for HuaLian, he would feel even more uneasy. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Of course, with Huazhang's personality, it could very well have been built solely to amuse himself. Although HuaLian was quite curious as to why Huazhang would construct a building that so vastly differed from the rest of Ghost City, he contained the impulse to ask. Well, if only you hadn't contained that impulse, HuaLian! It wasn't a good habit to pry, lest one accidentally ask what one shouldn't. Want to go in and take a look? Huazhang asked. Of course, HuaLian answered cheerfully. Side by side, they entered the temple, leisurely strolling down the jade stone path. The interior of the temple was spacious and bright, but it didn't have a divine statue, nor any cushions for worshippers to kneel upon. Yeah, of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. This was built in a hurry, so there are many careless and thoughtless elements, Huazhang explained. Pray Gaga forgive me. Thoughtless elements, I'm gonna... He thinks he's being so funny. He thinks he's being so funny. HuaLian grinned. Not at all, I think this is very nice. Very, very nice. It's good that there isn't an idol or cushions, and best if there won't ever be. But how come there's no establishment plaque? He wasn't calling Huazhang on a fault, it was just that even the jade stones paving the temple paths were meticulously engraved with 1,000 Lights Temple, but the establishment plaque above the entrance was missing. Naturally, it couldn't have been a simple oversight, hence HuaLian's curiosity. Huazhang chuckled. It can't be helped. There isn't really anyone around here who can write. Just think of that crowd earlier. It'd be impressive if they could even recognize letters. Does Gaga like any particular calligraphy masters? I'll invite them over to help compose the plaque. Although, in my opinion, the best solution would be for Gaga himself to draw up a sign and hang it over 1,000 Lights Temple. That would be more than splendid. As he spoke, he pointed to the altar in the great hall. This jade altar table was exceedingly long and wide, and various offerings and an incense burner were neatly placed upon it. There were even brushes, inkstones, and paper, providing an air of scholastic elegance. The pair approached the table, and HuaLian asked, "Why doesn't Sanlang compose one for me?" Huazhang's eye slightly widened at the suggestion, like the thought was unexpected. Me? Yeah, HuaLian replied. Huazhang pointed at himself. You really want me to ride? HuaLian noticed his discomfort and asked, Will it trouble Sanlang? Huazhang cocked an eyebrow and replied, No, it's just... Seeing that HuaLian was waiting for him to answer, he clasped his hands behind his back and continued somewhat helplessly. All right, it's just... I don't ride well. Now this was something new. HuaLian truly couldn't imagine there was anything Huazhang can do well. He smiled. Oh, really? Will you write something and show me? Are you sure? Huazhang asked once more. Oh my god, what is going on? What is happening? HuaLian took out a few sheets of blank paper, laid them neatly upon the jade altar table, and attentively flattened them. He then picked a fine-looking Zihao brush, made of brown rabbit fur and placed it in Huachang's hand. Come. As HuaLian had prepared everything, Huachang relented. Fine, but don't laugh. HuaLian nodded. Of course. Thus, Huachang took the brush and started writing, assuming a serious air. HuaLian stood next to him and watched, but the more he watched, the more unreadable his face grew. Oh no, he genuinely can't write. He genuinely has shit handwriting. HuaLian genuinely wanted to hold it in, but he failed. As Huachang wreaked mad havoc on that paper, he chided HuaLian half in warning and half in jest. Gaga. HuaLian immediately schooled his expression. My bad. He didn't want to laugh, but what could he do? Huachang's writing was just too funny. Of all the crazed brushwork HuaLian had ever witnessed, none could measure even halfway to Huachang's wild script, a wildness that carried a wicked whirlwind of malevolence. If any calligraphy teachers saw it, their eyes would roll back and they'd perish on the spot. After a long time, and with immense difficulty, HuaLian managed to make out sea, water, peak, clouds, and other such words through the scroll. He guessed Huachang must be writing. After seeing the vast sea no water can compare, scattered from the peak of Mount Wu, there are no other clouds. Oh my god. Oh my god. That comes with a footnote, by the way. I'm going to read the footnote before I give some thoughts here. It's from Ache of Separation. After seeing the vast sea, no water can compare. Scattered from the peak of Mount Wu, there are no other clouds. Many times I've passed through the flowers, yet I spare them no glance, for half my fate is in cultivation, and the other half in you. Oh, that's romantic. That is so romantic. Written by the Tang poet Ninchen. This poem expresses his eternal love and devotion to his dead wife. Mount Wu is a mythical place, and its usage in this piece alludes to an idiom, the colorful clouds surrounding Mount Wu, which means rendezvous of lovers. Okay, so Huachang is writing a romantic poem, trying to be a little bit flirty, but it's just funny because HuaLian is laughing because his handwriting is funny. Suddenly recalling the plaques in front of the gambler's den, the ones with the funny writing, I wonder if Huachang made those. Huachang was master of the ghost realm and feared by all of heaven and hell. To think he was finally showing such a vulnerable side of himself because of something like writing. The thought alone was going to make HuaLian's gut burst from holding in his laughter. Huachang completed the piece with a wave of his hand, and HuaLian forcibly feigned calm as he picked up the end product using both of his own. Good. It's got such personality and essence all of its own. It's got style. When you try to compliment a student's work, but it's actually pretty fucking dog shit. I'm sure it does have personality and style though. HuaLian wouldn't lie like that. Huachang put down the brush, looking like he had the posture wholly perfected, and smiled with his eye in a crescent. Madness, you mean? HuaLian pretended not to hear and began to offer commentary with a straight face. In fact, writing well is not difficult. What's difficult is writing with a unique style. If one's calligraphy only looks good in the same way that thousands of other works look good, then it's nothing more than common. Sanlang has a good foundation, the flair of a master, a daring spirit that conquers the world. There were two other idioms that followed. Broken land, armies in turmoil. It couldn't be helped. Fabricating praise was hard work. Huachang stood there, and the more he listened, the higher his brows raised. Really? He asked, doubtfully. When have I ever lied to Sanlang? HuaLian asked. Well, yes, just now, I guess. Huachang calmly and languidly added a few incense blocks to the small golden vessel on the side, and in the midst of that fresh, faint fragrance, he continued with an air of nonchalance. I do want to write well, but there's no one here to teach me. Looking at you, volume 7 cover, and I don't know if there are any tricks to the art. He had certainly asked the right person. HuaLian hummed and replied, There's really no trick to it, just... HuaLian considered it, but in the end he felt he couldn't explain everything he wanted to with words alone, so he shuffled closer to pick up the brush himself and wrote the last 2 verses of the poem Huachang had started. It was done in one breath, and after staring at it for a moment, he sighed a rueful chuckle. How shameful. I haven't had much chance to write in many years, so I'm not as good anymore. Huachang stared at the 4 verses that looked as vastly different as heaven and hell, the style of the characters foreign to each other, especially the last 2 verses that HuaLian had added to finish the poem. Many times I've passed through the flowers, yet I spare them no glance, for half my fate is in cultivation, the other half in you. This takes flirting to the next level. Imagine that, you're just sitting down writing romantic poems at each other, exchanging lines like that. Oh my god. For half my fate is in cultivation and the other half in you. I can't. That's sickeningly sweet. I love that. That's them. That's HuaLian. That's HuaLian to Huachang. He connected the verses together and read them a few times, his eye twinkling and unmoving from the page. It was a while before he looked up. Yeah, Huachang was seeing the same thing as I did. Teach me. Well, I dare not lecture, HuaLian said. Thus, he began to give Huachang a detailed introduction to calligraphy without holding back, providing insights and all that he'd learned from practice in his younger years. They were surrounded by subtly perfumed air and brilliant lights. Within the great hall, their chatter was low, light and leisurely. HuaLian lectured earnestly, and Huachang listened intently. It painted a soft picture. That's them. That's HuaLian for you. Oh, this is so nice. I love how we've just had such a day, and then we can slip into this so easily. And like, this is a scene where Huachang is, showing a vulnerability, like something he can't do well. And obviously it bothers him enough that he didn't actually even make a plaque for an establishment plaque, because he knew he couldn't do it well. Unless this is a ploy, but I don't want to think it is. Because I mean, the Gambler's Den plaques as well, but the tattoo. The fucking tattoo, guys. The tattoo on his arm, that we don't know what it is. It's not some foreign script or anything, it's his fucking handwriting. He's really bad at it. I'm so convinced now. I'm so convinced that says HuaLian's name. HuaLian has seen the tattoo and he couldn't fucking read it because Huachang's handwriting is shit. It makes sense now. Everything makes sense. But anyway, it doesn't matter because Huachang's handwriting might be a shit, but it's led them to have this really soft, really beautiful moment in this temple where they're just practicing handwriting. That's amazing. I love this. After a while, HuaLian prompted him. Why don't you try again? Huachang agreed obediently and took the brush from his hand to write another few characters, his expression serious. HuaLian crossed his arms as he watched, tilting his head. Interesting, but he still felt there was something off about the way Huachang put his brush to paper. He observed with a frown and suddenly realized where exactly it was going wrong. Huachang wasn't holding the brush correctly to begin with. If even the way he held the brush was all over the place, of course it would come out strange. HuaLian didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I laugh or cry tally. That's only like the second one in volume 3 actually, and we're coming to a close. We really have to catch up. HuaLian didn't know whether to laugh or cry and stood closer, reaching out to correct him without thinking. You're holding it wrong, it's like this. So you're touching his hand? You're touching your bro's hand, HuaLian? Only after he reached out did he suddenly realize his actions might be inappropriate. He wasn't an elderly teacher tutoring a young disciple, so to instruct Huachang by guiding his hand might be overly familiar. However, since the hand was already out, there was no reason to pull back rashly. He'd only appear overly self-conscious, so after some hesitation, HuaLian didn't remove his hand. He remembered the gamblers then. Hadn't Huachang taught him how to roll dice like this, hand on hand? Although HuaLian felt he had learned absolutely nothing then, and even had a sneaking suspicion he'd been somehow deceived, here and now he was sincere in his desire to teach Huachang. Thus, HuaLian's warm palm relaxed as it pressed close against Huachang's cold hand. With a gentle hold, he held Huachang's hand to guide the brush across the paper, whispering, "Like this." He sensed Huachang's brush growing wilder under his hand, and so he pressed down a little more firmly to control and correct its path. It didn't take long before it veered further, of course resisting the control, so HuaLian had to grasp tighter. Yeah, it's getting wilder, so he has to grasp it tighter. Huachang is doing this on purpose, come on. The characters drawn through their power combined were crooked and twisted, unseemly and ugly, and the more HuaLian guided, the more he felt something was off. Finally, he couldn't help but gape at the results. What? The ink on the paper had run tyrannically askew, as if it were a successfully silly prank. Huachang snickered softly, leaving HuaLian exasperated. "Son, don't be like this. Learn properly. Write properly." Okay, Huachang obediently acquiesced. It was blatantly obvious that he was only pretending to be serious. HuaLian shook his head, feeling ridiculous. Huachang's hand might have been cold, but for some reason it felt like a lump of hot coal in his grasp. HuaLian didn't dare hold him any tighter. His eyes wandered to the edge of the altar, and he stopped. At the corner of the jade altar table sat a tiny, lonesome flower. Oh my god. Oh my god. Flower? Huachang, that is so bold of you. So I find it so crazy how we can go like between chapters like this. Like we had a pretty serious thing happen in the last chapter with like a bit of plot development, you know, the child spirit being caught and stuff. And now we're holding hands while writing calligraphy in Thousand Lights Temple. Oh my god. Okay, first off, Huachang is apparently, like, yes, he built his temple. Yes, he sent those lanterns. And HuaLian's figured him out very easily, mind you. But Huachang still wants to kind of undermine himself, to kind of like be like, well, I just did this a few days ago because I was bored. Yeah, well, this just used to be an old building and I just redid it into the temple thing. Yeah, well, it's missing a few things that temples usually have. I pray you forgive me. Like, boy, like you haven't built this temple, planned it to the smallest detail, engraved every fucking stone with the name of the temple. Like, you just... Who are you fooling? I mean, HuaLian apparently, because HuaLian did acquiesce to believe that this was just a little old house, you know, that was made into the temple. But he's suspicious, and honestly, Huachang, of all things that you could have been honest about, like, why wouldn't you be honest about this? Why are you trying to hide that you are one of HuaLian's believers? What do you think is gonna happen? What do you think is gonna happen? And like, it's so funny to me because he's being like this, he's acting this way, but at the same time, he is leaving all these hints everywhere for HuaLian to pick up on, like from the very start, like his whole character design. We already had like a little talk about this, and now the flower on the altar, and the temple being exactly the way HuaLian would have wanted it for his followers, with nowhere, no cushions to kneel on because you're not supposed to kneel, and no huge idol statue because you don't need that either. Like the only thing missing is the establishment plaque, and it's missing for a reason. The reason being that, yes, the only thing HuaLian was missing apparently was private calligraphy lessons. But that really was what this chapter was about. It was a really sweet HuaLian moment, and also the exploration of one of Huachang's weaknesses, I suppose. You know, a man can't be good at everything. He had to have a weakness, and it happens to be his handwriting. That his handwriting is disastrous has disastrous consequences in the shape of HuaLian has seen his tattoo. And if his handwriting wasn't shit, he would have been able to read it. Oh my goodness, that has to be it. And that really recontextualizes that scene. Like, what? Sandang was just walking around, like, dropping hints left and right, and they're just like, they're useless hints, because no one can interpret them. This is so dumb, this is so funny, it's so dumb. And I mean, that is HuaLian summarized, isn't it? Again, I am just so happy that they get to have kind of this soft sort of moment after all of this. And like the author describes, it was like it painted a soft picture. And then they're just being silly. And I absolutely love that. But then we're ending on this semi-cliffhanger about the flower. And I guess we have to figure out what all that is about. So settle in, idiots. We are reading Bizarre Trick to Open Doors. Ghost fetus stolen? Already? We just caught that fetus. Oh my god. And it's already stolen? Is that what this chapter is? It's 30 pages? 20 pages of the ghost fetus being stolen? Oh my lord. Well, I guess the plot is kicking back into gear. We're leaving the HuaLian moments for this. Okay, let's do it. A foregone memory surfaced in HuaLian's mind, and he was momentarily stunned. It was like a dust-covered picture, but when he tried to wipe it clean, it remained blurry. Unspeaking, he frowned and loosened his grasp to pick up that flower. Huachang put down his brush as well and slowly began to grind some ink. "What's wrong?" A lipsy reply from HuaLian. HuaLian smiled. "Nothing. Just this flower scent is refreshing. I've always liked this sort." Offerings of flowers in temples and palaces were far from rare. However, most devotees offered large, fresh bouquets of bright red or purple blossoms or handcrafted imitation flowers that never wilted. After a pause, HuaLian said, "Could this be the flower which Crimson Rain sought?" Huachang smiled. "Gaga has such godly premonitions." As they laughed, the pair finally completed a set of compositions together. The subject was still those 4 lines of verse. Huachang picked it up to admire, looking most pleased. Excellent. Frame it." Hearing him say, "excellent," HuaLian made a confused noise. When he heard "frame it," he made the same confused noise again. "You're not thinking of hanging it on the wall, are you?" Yes, HuaLian. Yes, he is. I mean, it's created using the both of you. The only other time that happens is if you actually get... If HuaLian's deceased teachers ever discovered his involvement in such a set of compositions, they'd probably rise from the dead out of sheer rage. However, Huachang only laughed. "No, I'm keeping it for myself. I'm not showing this to anyone." Just then, they heard faint screaming from outside. Oh my god, here we go. Fire. Fire! Paradise Manor is on fire. Again. Seriously? Fire insurance on Paradise Manor is like the premium is going up so much. Huachang is lucky he runs this city. The interior of the main hall of Thousand Lights Temple was exceedingly quiet, and since they both possessed better than average senses, the moment they heard, they instantly looked at each other. "Paradise Manor? Again?" HuaLian blurted out, the words leaving his lips before he realized it was silly to say again. Oh my god. Is it really though, HuaLian? It did happen again, very short time since the last time that happened. Unruffled and unhurried, Huachang stowed away the compositions. No need to worry. Gaga, just sit here and relax. I'll be back shortly. As if HuaLian could just sit back and relax. I'll come with you, he said, as he hastily followed, feeling rueful as he thought, how come Paradise Manor gets set on fire every time I visit? Real HuaLian, real. It's insane, isn't it? That God of Misfortune title of his was about to be proven true. Once again, although this time the fire had nothing to do with HuaLian. Being sorry for things was by now a habit of his. They hurried back to Paradise Manor, and on the way the main street was laden with smoke and jammed with little ghosts and monsters frantically running back and forth with buckets of water. When they saw Huachang and HuaLian approach, they all called out, Chengju! Don't you worry, your old lordship, the fire ain't big, it's already out. Huachang gave no reaction, but HuaLian let out a breath of relief. Thank goodness, thank you everyone for your hard work. HuaLian gently praised them. The little ghosts hadn't expected any kind of gratitude at all, not to mention that the thanks for your hard work came from Chengju's friends. They became quite excited indeed. Not hard, it's nothing major. It's our duty. Only then did HuaLian realize that this show of gratitude was rather inappropriate, as he wasn't the master of this establishment. However, since Huachang didn't say anything, it probably wasn't too horrible that HuaLian took initiative to do so. Yeah, as far as Huachang is concerned, he owns this place. He briefly reprimanded himself mentally, then stopped worrying about it. HuaLian and Huachang entered Paradise Manor to inspect the spot where the fire had started. Sure enough, it was only a small area confined to a corner of an insignificant house in the larger complex. No wonder the flames had been extinguished so quickly. However, yeah, because this fire was all about getting the spirit, right? Getting the Fetus Spirit. However, once this was confirmed, HuaLian became alarmed. He turned to Huachang. The arsonist wasn't playing some harebrained prank, and this didn't come from a random desire to torch something. It looks more like a ploy to divert everyone's attention. But if that was the case, what was the purpose of the distraction? HuaLian came to a startling realization. The Fetus Spirit! When they left Paradise Manor, the wails and cries of the Fetus Spirit were audible from even far away. The sound of its weeping was sharp, and its yowls for Mom clear. But now that voice was gone. The pair rushed to a side chamber outside the main hall of Paradise Manor to check. When they first left, Huachang had casually placed the clay pot containing the Fetus Spirit on the table. The pot still sat there, but when HuaLian picked it up, he immediately sensed the difference in weight. It was too light. When he opened it, sure enough, there was nothing inside. Oh my god. In Paradise Manor, in Ghost City? Oh goodness. Something locked within the clay pot could not possibly have broken the seal over the opening. HuaLian immediately determined. Someone let the Fetus Spirit loose. Huachang, however, didn't look the least bit fussed. It was indeed stolen. The butterflies badly wounded the thing. It couldn't get far on its own. Then that's easily taken care of, HuaLian said. Sandong, does your Paradise Manor have guards patrolling the premise? Ask if they saw anyone suspicious. No guards, said Huachang. A lipsy reply from HuaLian. HuaLian blinked. None? Mm-hmm. There have never been any, Huachang replied. No wonder HuaLian had seen no guards when he snuck around Paradise Manor last time. He thought he didn't see them because they were all well hidden, but he hadn't realized there weren't any at all. Slightly stunned, he asked, You're that lax regarding Paradise Manor? Kaga, have you ever paid attention to the doors? Huachang asked. HuaLian thought about it. No, I haven't. Could it be there's something extraordinary about them? Correct, Huachang pointed at the set of doors to the side chamber. If one is not the master of this establishment, and one were to steal even a single item that didn't belong to them, they would be trapped inside the room, unable to open its doors. Alright. In which case, whoever let this spirit loose, must know their way around. That's not great. HuaLian remembered that the last time he'd come to Paradise Manor, he had always opened doors with dice, and when he finally left, it had been through the whirlwind created by the Windmaster, raising the roof and thus avoiding any doors. Those were all images of violence, and the more HuaLian recalled, the more he thought he should stop thinking, feeling slightly ashamed. After a brief pause, he asked, "Then say that Sunlang were to steal a spiritual weapon from me and keep it within Paradise Manor. Since I was the original owner of the weapon, could I not take it away?" Huachang arched his brows. "Of course not. Once it's in my hands, it's mine. But don't wrong me so, Gaga. I would never steal any of your spiritual weapons." HuaLian cleared his throat. "Of course, I knew that. That's why I said if. Besides, I don't really have any spiritual weapons worth stealing anyway." Huachang's jokes ended there. He smiled, then continued. "So it's impossible to steal something from me without my notice. Which is why there is, of course, no need for guards." HuaLian's first instinct was that whoever had stolen the Fetus Spirit hadn't left through the doors and had employed a different method. But looking around, the side chamber's roof was undamaged, the floor looked pristine, and the walls were in fine shape too. There was no trace of a break-in. He couldn't help but come up with a more skin-crawling thought. What if the one who stole the Fetus Spirit hasn't left and is still within this side chamber? Although there was nowhere in the side chamber to hide, there were plenty of ways to turn invisible. Maybe the thief was near them at this very moment, quietly watching their every move. HuaLian peered around, watchful for any abnormal movement in the air. However, his eyes and instincts both told him that neither a third person nor a ghost were present. Perhaps he would have to pursue a different line of thought. Just then, Huachang chuckled. "There's no need for Gaga to be concerned. I have my ways of finding our Fetus Spirit thief." Huachang truly looked like he had a plan. HuaLian turned to him, and after a brief moment to consider the matter, he was suddenly enlightened as well. They waited in silence, and their wait was short. The sounds of commotion closed in, and soon a large group of nefarious creatures swarmed outside the side chamber like a flock of squawking birds. "Chengdu, what does your old lordship desire, calling us over?" This crowd was close to 1,000 at minimum. Had it not been for the large courtyard and architecture of Paradise Manor, they might not have fit. The one who had brought them was the masked man, and he reported the situation to Huachang. "Chengdu, everyone who appeared on the streets today should be here. Ghost City is locked down. No one can leave." Oh my god. Are we doing a locked room mystery? Except we have like 1,000 participants. Oh goodness. It was the voice of that young man from last time. HuaLian couldn't help but steal a glance at him. The ghosts cried. "Chengdu was the one who set fire caught? They're saying something was stolen. They tired of living? Or want to die again or what? So insolent, setting fires and stealing shit. They dare mess with Chengdu's authority? There's no way Chengdu will let him go." Ellipse reply. I'm guessing that one's from HuaLian. Although the crowd of ghosts wasn't talking about HuaLian, as one who had set this same building on fire, kidnapped someone, and subsequently been let go by Huachang, HuaLian felt like he had been shot by countless arrows. Yeah, they were just describing what happened in Arc 1, actually. Yeah. Except, HuaLian, the other person, this person, is not you. That's the difference. I don't know if you've caught on yet, but that's the difference. He softly cleared his throat, feeling increasingly guilty. He stole a glance at Huachang, but coincidentally met his eye as Huachang also glanced over with an unreadable look. HuaLian immediately averted his gaze. He heard Huachang say flatly, "The one who stole the Fetus Spirit can come forward now. Don't waste my time." The crowd was shaken. Among us? I thought it was an outsider. Who the hell is it? Just come forward already. Some time passed. The uproar died down, but still no one stepped forward. Very good, as brave as expected, HuaLian said dryly. Men on the left, women on the right, divide into rows. Although the ghosts were puzzled, they didn't dare disobey HuaLian's command and immediately did as they were told, swiftly forming two large groups. Male ghosts squished on the left, their voices gruff and crude. The female ghosts were on the right, everyone seductively alluring. HuaLian and HuaLian shared a look, then went directly to the side to inspect a line of female ghosts, their eyes sweeping past 10 women at a time. As he traveled down the line, HuaLian saw a particular female ghost and paused in his tracks. She wore a long dress and had caked her face with so many layers of terrifyingly pale white powder that her real features were practically indiscernible. But that heavily painted face was still somewhat familiar. Miss Lantong, HuaLian addressed her. Right here, Lantong, one of the Ghost City denizens, the prostitute that prepositioned HuaLian in the Ghost City arc, the first one. And she is back. So is she the one? She stole the Fetus Spirit. And, well, if she is a female, like maybe the way she stole it out of the room is that she let it go inside her to take it outside, and she's a ghost, so she wouldn't be, affected the same way as a human would. That could be it. Why did she do it, though? We'll have to read on and find out. The female ghost was taken aback, as if she were the one who had just seen a ghost. Sure enough, it was Lantong. The lady ghost who had clung to him on the streets of Ghost City, fought with the hog butcher, cackled at his declaration that he can't get erect, and consequently spread the rumor. After shaking her off her shock, Lantong put her hands on her hips and raised her chin. What? You're the one who said you can't get it up. I didn't wrong ya. You're gonna seek revenge and tell on me to Cheongju? Although the other female ghosts were all a little nervous, they still giggled softly at her comments. HuaLian walked over, and though his expression was unreadable, Lantong clearly still feared him somewhat. Her imperious attitude visibly deflated as he approached. The miss can talk however she wants about a joke like that, it's fine, HuaLian gently assured her. However, that Fetus Spirit has harmed many. It reeks of blood. It shouldn't be left on the loose, so please return it. Exactly. She's got it. Even through the heavy powder on Lantong's face, it was clear that she had gone even paler. She backed away in a hurry, but since she was in a crowd of other ghosts, she didn't get very far before she was caught by a number of hands that thwarted any chance of escape. I don't know what you're saying, she cried in desperation. What Fetus Spirit? Please return it, HuaLian coaxed. Return what? I don't have it. You're accusing me of stealing from Cheongju, but everyone knows there's no way anything can be taken from Cheongju's house. Whatever we take, we can't carry it out. The mob of ghosts agreed. Yeah, that was right. They all knew. Even the hog butcher grumbled as much. Paradise Manor only just caught fire. I haven't left the street all night, Lantong added. If I stole anything, I wouldn't have time to hide it. As she spoke, she opened her arms, showing off her empty hands, and even lifted her dress to prove she wasn't hiding anything. But HuaLian pointed out a key piece of evidence. Miss, the last time I saw you, it was freezing cold, yet you still dressed so very lightly. It's a beautiful day today, and you're wearing a long dress. Are you considering a change of style, or are you hiding something? The ghosts hadn't noticed this until he brought it up. Lantong usually dressed in an extremely revealing fashion. When HuaLian said very lightly, he was being polite. While flouncing about the streets, Lantong usually left her chest almost fully exposed. However, today she wore a long dress that thoroughly covered her legs and waist. Exceedingly strange indeed. Besides, when Huacheng showed HuaLian around Ghost City's streets earlier, they had been surrounded by that hollering crowd of ghosts who wanted to stuff them with delicacies, yet they had seen neither hide nor hair of Lanchang, who normally loved to strut about and cuss at everyone on the streets while passionately proclaiming to all in sight, "It's not me, he's the one who can't get it up." The crowd immediately grew restless. "You didn't take what didn't belong to you, you only took what was once part of you," HuaLian explained slowly. "Right now, the Fetus Spirit is in your belly." "Once part of you? Excuse me? Wait, what?" Okay, so Lanchang is from Shanle, but is she that woman then? Because that woman was like a merchant's daughter, and Lanchang is, well, a sex worker. What exactly is the timeline here? Maybe I was wrong about the woman at the Shanle protests being connected to this, because Lanchang was introduced to us in Arc 1, so maybe she's just she's the important part here. Because here's the thing, in the dream there was that charm, that Crown Prince charm, right? So people were still worshipping HuaLian around the time this baby was supposed to be born. So this must, this unfortunate murder of the child, which created the child spirit, the Fetus Spirit, must have happened before the fall of Shanle then, right? So why this is okay, I'm a little bit confused. I'm going to keep reading and see what happens. If the Fetus Spirit thief had no other way to leave and wasn't lurking in the side chamber, that left only one explanation. The thief openly left through the front doors. Had the Fetus Spirit been carried to term, it would be a child, an independent person. However, the Fetus Spirit was forcibly removed from its mother's womb before it reached that point. Therefore, if its mother stuffed it back into her belly, then naturally it would qualify as something that belonged to her. Rather, it could be said that the Fetus Spirit was no different from a piece of her own flesh, a part of her body. After all, the blood bond between a mother and a child was thick. Under the circumstances, they were but one body, so the mother could, of course, leave Paradise Manor openly and unharmed. Therefore, the one who stole the Fetus Spirit had to be a female ghost, and the mother of that child. Locking down Ghost City and calling forth all the female ghosts who had been on the streets before and after the fire would therefore surely lead them to the culprit. Huacheng must have realized all this the moment they entered the side chamber. HuaLian was quite sure of it. Suddenly, Lanchang let out a great shout and seized her own belly in a mad fit. "Miss!" HuaLian exclaimed. Lanchang's face was ghastly pale, and she couldn't utter a single word. All of a sudden, it was as if something in her belly exploded. Her previously flat stomach swelled into an enormous ball, almost ripping her long dress apart as walls of black smoke seeped out through the seams. The other female ghosts released their hold on her and slunk back, while Lanchang kept a death grip on her belly. She yelled in panic. "Stop this tantrum!" The Fetus Spirit in her womb was kicking up a storm. "Gerge, stand back," Huacheng calmly said. "It's fine," HuaLian exclaimed. Lanchang fell heavily on her knees, her face twisted with agony. "Listen to me, be good! Won't you just be good? Stop this tantrum!" "Miss Lanchang, let it out first," HuaLian urged her. Lanchang shook her head wildly. No! I will keep him in my womb and raise him well for sure. He won't go out and harm anyone anymore. Chengdu, please, I beg you. Don't take my son away. I've searched for him for centuries. Don't take my son. Don't hand him to those scoundrels in the heavens." As HuaLian suspected, it seemed the ghosts in Ghost City were perfectly aware that he was from the heavenly realm. Lanchang let out a shrill scream and rolled on the ground, hugging her belly as if it were no longer part of her body and was instead its own live creature, shrinking at times, swelling at others, and twisting up, down, left, right. The black smoke grew thicker. The Fetus Spirit must have regained some strength after recovering in its mother's womb, and was ready to start trouble again. The crowd of female ghosts rallied again to hold Long Chong down, yet they were powerless to do so. At the sight of this predicament, the male ghosts on the left yelled, "We got this!" and rushed forward to restrain her. It was complete chaos. HuaLian clenched his fists. "Miss Lanchang, the fetus in your belly is much more powerful than you," he yelled. "You clearly can't bear to hurt it, but it can hurt you. You can't do anything. It will suck you dry sooner or later and break free. Let it out now!" If Lanchang refused to release the thing in her belly, soon she would be sucked dry and shredded to pieces by that savage spirit. This, of course, would leave HuaLian no choice but to personally cut it out himself. Although it might be better than watching her be ripped apart by her own son, he really didn't want to do so unless there truly was no alternative. While he would prefer not to cut her open, he certainly couldn't let Huachang do it for him. But Lanchang was stubborn as a mule, and even as she wailed in agony, she refused to relinquish the Fetus Spirit. This couldn't go on for much longer, so HuaLian decided to take action. HuaLian set his jaw in determination. "Excuse my imposition!" However, when his hand reached for Feng Xin's hilt, Huachang immediately held him back. "No need," he said darkly. A flash of golden light suddenly erupted from the center of Long Chang's belly, its rays blinding the ghostly crowd. They yelped loudly, fleeing to make room. "What the shit?" HuaLian focused his eyes. When that golden light died down, the Fetus Spirit that had been so desperate to burst out seemed now to be somehow fettered, and Long Chang's belly had flattened to its normal state. The thing holding it back was a belt on her waist. At first glance, that belt looked quite ordinary, but when HuaLian took a good look, he was astonished. "Why would you have something like this on you?" Even with its color faded from washing, HuaLian could tell that the belt was an item of heavenly essence. Many ingenious spiritual weapons of the heavens only reveal their phenomenal abilities when protecting their masters in dire circumstances. Even though the embroidered patterns on the belt were heavily worn and damaged, HuaLian was certain that it was an item only heavenly officials could possess. A golden belt. And by the look of its design, the belt had once belonged to a heavenly official of the upper court. Golden belts were considered a sophisticated gift in the heavenly realm, and the act of gifting one carried a special meaning. If a male official were to gift his belt to another, it was a gesture to signify affection, and the nature of that affection was evident. One could well imagine that something like a golden belt would not be so easily given away, and also not so easily lost. HuaLian gaped. "Miss, could your child be the child of a god? Oh my lord!" Okay, we're gonna keep reading, but just a second now. So, the child spirit is the son of Lanchang. And we don't know anymore about the woman at the Shanda protest theory, but we know that she is from Shanda. And HuaLian is now guessing that because Lanchang is wearing a golden belt, which is something that only heavenly officials had, and would only gift to someone they were very, had affections for, Lanchang's child, this child spirit, could be the child of a heavenly official. Again, this being like 800 years ago, like someone from the upper court, that doesn't leave us with a lot of options from the people we know of. Is this like male heavenly officials that we know might have been ascended around the time of HuaLian? Junwu and General Pei, I suppose. Rainmaster, if they are a man. Which is not my current theory, but could be. Yeah, holy shit, could this be one of Pei Ming's kids that is coming back to bite us. That would explain why the child spirit was, around Xuanji. I mean, it doesn't explain it, but there is like a connection there. Do you think this is Pei Ming's kid? I mean, it could be the Emperor's kid, but that seems like, why was he wandering around in Shanle before its fall? I mean, before its fall, sure, but like after Xuelian's ascension, I'm just babbling. Let's keep going. He trailed off as he suddenly remembered where he was. Regardless of whether this was the lair of all evil, to inquire after the details of a woman's personal affairs in public was far from courteous. He immediately cut off. "No!" Lan Chang instantly cried in response. "I haven't even said anything. What are you saying no to?" Xuelian wondered. He asked instead, "Did you depend on this golden belt to sustain yourself through the past 700 or 800 years?" The crowd of female ghosts was stunned to hear this. "Holy shit, Lan Chang, you're that old? Didn't you always say you're only 300 something? No, she even said she was 200 once. You're falsifying your records." The Fetus Spirit was about 700 or 800 years of cultivation, so its mother would of course be around the same age. However, Lan Chang didn't possess a grudge of equal weight. The Golden Belt's immense spiritual powers had doubtlessly been instrumental in enabling her stay in the corporal world as an ordinary ghost for so long. If the father of that fetus spirit was the heavenly official, then the degree of its savagery made sense. A heavenly official having an affair with a mortal woman? Whether he had ended up abandoning or neglecting her, she had met a violent end with her baby forcibly torn from her womb. Now both mother and son were of the ghost realm, and the fetus had likely murdered countless others. No matter what, this case was no less serious than the case of Xuanji mentioned. Wow. It even seemed rather familiar on the surface, which made it easy to determine how best to handle it. Xuelian looked to Huachang. "Sunlong, dismiss." "No need to say more," Huachang said. "Do what you must. You needn't ask me." Xuelian answered softly. Upon receiving permission, he turned to Lan Chang. All the ghosts were demanding more gossip. Lan Chang, who's your baby's dad? What an outrage. Did he only care enough to kill it, but not to bury it? Care to knock you up, but not raise the kid? Just who is it? You gotta avenge yourself." Lan Chang clenched her teeth and stared hard at Xuelian. "Who else could it be?" She didn't utter the name, but Xuelian understood. "Why don't you come back to the heavenly court with me?" "No!" Lan Chang immediately shouted. Of course, it was useless for her to object. Willing or not, Xuelian had to take her away, and he hardened his expression. "This fetus spirit is exceedingly violent. Who knows how much blood is on its hands? The case has become too convoluted for you to continue to shield it. This matter must be confronted and reported to the heavenly court," Xuelian said solemnly. "If that heavenly official is an honest one, or if there was some kind of misunderstanding between you, then we can have you and your child recognized and deal with the matter of its crimes after. If that heavenly official has wronged you or worse, then there's even more reason to demand justice. No matter what, the fetus spirit is your son, but also his son. How can anyone else interfere if the father is ignorant of this affair?" The ghosts thought his speech made sense. Also, if they let Lan Chang haul her son up to cause a riot in the heavens, how exciting would that be? The bigger the chaos, the better, so they urged her. "Yeah, Lan Chang, what are you afraid of? Go settle your score with that guy. If he won't recognize you, we'll burn down his temples." Oh my god. I kind of love how supportive they're being, I gotta say. Xuelian said to Huachang, "I will make the trip to the upper court this instant and report this case." While Lan Chang protested, she knew she couldn't stop him. After snapping out of her shock, she suddenly knelt down and prostrated before Huachang. "Changju, thank you for your kindness and grace in sheltering me." Xuelian was taken aback. "It was out of desperation that Lan Chang sent fire to the Paradise Manor and broke the rules of Ghost City," she continued. "I am ever so sorry. Pray Changju will not hold it against me." She had always been a sauntering shrew, but when she spoke now, it was like she was a different person. Many of those familiar with her watched in shock, but Huachang appeared unstirred, and he turned to Xuelian. Gaga stopped by in too much of a hurry. I'll wait for you to come down again and host you properly next time. HuaLian nodded, then took Lanchang and rushed straight to the heavens. Had to end that part with Huachang with one final Gaga from him. And we caught up. We're way past volume 1 now in terms of Gagas. This was insane. Great chapter. And it's still not over. We're up in the heavens now. With Lanchang. As he walked down the main streets of the heavenly capital, he announced in the spiritual communication array, Everyone, please make your way to the Palace of Divine Might. There's a matter that requires conference. He exited the array as soon as he was done, and didn't waste any time bringing Lanchang to the Palace of Divine Might. Lanchang was but an ordinary ghost, and couldn't enter the Golden Palace, so HuaLian waited outside with her until John Woo himself arrived and granted permission for Lanchang to enter. Okay, so no reaction from John Woo just yet, so lists of suspects narrowing. Are we getting... No way! Oh, it would be so terrible if this is Pei Ming's kid, but is that the story we're going into? It didn't take long for the heavenly officials who were currently present in the heavenly capital to make their way to the hall, where they were met with the bewildering sight of a crude female ghost slathered in heavy makeup. She stood in stark contrast to the transcendence of the heavenly court. A black-clad heavenly official strolled in, and he paused for a moment when he saw what was in the center of the hall. This was Mooching. Lanchang also glanced at him and immediately lowered her head, her lips quivering. Mooching showed no further reaction and only asked impassively, Your Highness, who's that woman? At this address, Lanchang's face changed. She looked at HuaLian as if she were recalling something that she wasn't entirely sure of. What happened here? What happened just here? Like, is she looking down, lips quivering, because mooching is just, fucking mooching? Or is there something to this? This is very sus already. She looked at HuaLian as if she were recalling something that she wasn't entirely sure of. Because she had, the charm, the Crown Prince of Shanle, the Flower Crowned Martial God protection charm. Does she not recognize who HuaLian is? I mean, she should at this point. And in that case, she might recognize Mooching as well. So that might be what is happening. Just then, both the Wind and Water Masters arrived. The pair of brothers looked quite similar to each other with their matching fans and white robes gently fluttering. They painted a beautiful picture. Shouqing Xuan fanned himself as he spoke. Yeah, Temple Master, why did you bring a lady ghost here today? HuaLian was puzzled. Temple Master? What Temple Master? Of Puchi Shrine? Why this sudden address? Then he realized Shouqing Xuan probably meant Master of Thousand Lights Temple. He didn't know how to acknowledge the title and could only pretend he hadn't heard it, but Shouqing Xuan was cheerful as he greeted everyone around him, then turned to the ghost. Huh? The ghost Jeja has something in her belly? Why do I have a feeling that it's... He wondered aloud as he approached, looking like he wanted to touch her. Shouwuru snapped his fan shut. Qingxuan! Shouqing Xuan's hand instantly shrank back, and he tried to justify himself. I just thought there was an aura of evil and wanted to see if there was something dangerous. Shouwuru continued to scold him. You're a man and a heavenly official. This is the Palace of Divine Might. How could you do something so unmannerly? Do not turn into a woman either. Even if it is a woman's form, it's equally disgraceful. Change back right this instant. Lingwan shook his head. Lingwan is still here in his male form, okay. He folded a stack of documents and reports under his arm and approached to place his hand on Lanchang's belly. In his male form. Shouwuru, are you just not going to say anything to your friends? Goodness. After a moment, he dropped his hand and hummed. What a vicious Fetus Spirit. How many hundreds of years old? 700 or 800, HuaLian answered. He gave an account of the 2 times he had met the Fetus Spirit, and how the Fetus Spirit's attack on a pregnant woman led him to find the female ghost Lanchang. He didn't bring up the details of Huacheng and Ghost City, and Lan Chang herself naturally remained quiet on the subject. At the end, HuaLian concluded, and that's how it came to be. I don't know if that heavenly official is still in this world or still working with us, nor whether there is some misunderstanding in all this, nor whether he knew. That's why I brought this miss here. Feng Shen knitted his brows. If there wasn't a misunderstanding, and he knew about the mother and child, then it's simply responsible of him to leave them like that without a word. Pei Ming crossed his arms and commented leisurely. I completely agree with General Nanyang. This is far too irresponsible. Don't know which heavenly colleague this discarded baggage belongs to, but if he's on duty, he best come forward. You're literally like my top suspect. Goodness. As he finished, he felt countless eyes on him. I feel like it's not Pei Ming just because of the way people are reacting here. Silence had descended upon the Palace of Divine Might. A moment later, Pei Ming wondered aloud, are you all having some sort of misunderstanding about me? A lipsy reply from Qingxuan, who stopped fanning his fan. I don't think it's a misunderstanding, more like we know you too well. Pei Ming immediately defended himself. It wasn't me. Everyone laughed dryly, and even Sherwood and Ling Wen looked unconvinced by his denial. Pei Ming grew frustrated, and he supported his temple with his hand as he explained earnestly. Well, I've had some flings with women in the ghost realm before, but I really don't recognize this one. If those words of his were to be taken seriously, they were believable. How could the man himself not know with whom he shared a past? Many criticized Pei Ming's promiscuity, but he had never denied any affairs and never denounced anything he'd done. It wasn't like he couldn't afford it. Unless they behaved like Xuanji, women who had affairs with him were lavish with wealth and sweetness. They were all guaranteed a lifetime of riches and care until they no longer wanted to associate with him. If Lan Chang truly had a fleeting affair with Pei Ming while she was alive, she shouldn't have suffered having her womb ripped open and her son stolen from her, or his becoming a vicious ghost. Okay, so we're saying that Pei Ming treats his lovers well. Or, you know, if he has affairs with mortals or ghosts or whatever, they get a lot of cred afterwards and, you know, don't want for anything. Unless they want to stop being associated with Pei Ming as his lovers. Besides, Pei Ming had high standards when it came to women. He only dallied with those of extraordinary appearance. And he also preferred beauties with a natural look. As everyone in the hall could see, Lan Chang wore such a heavy layer of makeup that her real features were indiscernible, and her general looks, class, and behavior were a far cry from the lovers Pei Ming usually chose. So when he claimed he wasn't to blame, everyone silently somewhat believed him, except it was only silently and somewhat. When an occasion to see General Pei get checkmated presented itself, how could they not indulge in the fun? And so they stood by and watched him argue with smiles on their faces. Whether any member of the crowd was convinced depended entirely on their current mood. At first, HuaLian also thought the father was more than likely Pei Ming. He had a track record, after all. But as he studied Pei Ming's expression, HuaLian grew less certain. Pei Ming didn't seem to be lying. He recalled Huacheng saying that there was nothing to fear, as Pei Ming wasn't a shady fellow, or something along those lines. After some contemplation, HuaLian continued. Okay, I just wanted to note here that, yeah, HuaLian too had Pei Ming as his number one suspect, but now that he is like listening to Pei Ming and looking at his expression, he's like, well, maybe not. And then he recalls Huacheng actually has a decent opinion of Pei Ming, it seems like he's a lot of things, but he is not that seedy. Pun intended. And because he remembers Huacheng's sort of approval, that's what gets him to, weakens his suspicion anyway. So HuaLian continued, Miss Lan Chang originally responded ambiguously, asking who else could it be, so I assumed. But since General Pei denies such claims, maybe there has been some misunderstanding. Besides, it can't be the same person every time, so why don't we ask around? Unexpectedly, Lan Chang spoke up. It's not him. HuaLian was taken aback and turned to her. It's not him, Lan Chang repeated. Ling Wen said coolly. What? So it's not? Shou Wudu also politely said. So it actually isn't. A lipsy reply from Pei Ming, who turned to Shou Wudu and Ling Wen. I already said it wasn't. The two of you are adding insult to injury. Just you wait. The heavenly officials were briefly disappointed, but then they grew even more excited. After all, Pei Ming was always the one generating wanton scandals. If it were him, it would be nothing new. But if he wasn't to blame, that meant there was likely another male official, present or not, who had instigated a new wave of excitement. How could they not be thrilled? Again, just love the banter between the three tumors. It's so funny. Earlier in Ghost City, Lan Chang had hinted that the man in question was Pei Ming, but now she denied it. HuaLian felt something was amiss, but he made no effort to express his suspicion. Then who is it? He inquired. Lan Chang stared squarely at him, her eyes unmoving. You! HuaLian thought she wasn't finished. What about me? I said the man is you! Lan Chang declared. Are you fucking for real? Lan Chang? Lan Chang. I mean, as a reader, this is just so fucking hilarious, but oh my god, are you seriously... Well, she's stirring up trouble, that is for sure. My god. So this is a really interesting chapter. We are getting way more into the Fetus Spirit than I thought we would this time around, and I'm super happy that we're continuing it. And I'm wondering if we are not also kind of approaching our next storyline, though it seems like it's not Pei Ming after all. Like, I believe them now. I believe that this is not Pei Ming's kid. Like, yes, the plot kind of leads you to sort of believe it before it actually comes out and says it isn't, but you know, that would have been too obvious of an answer. It would be too lazy, I suppose. In which case, whose kid is it? The only thing that could shock me now, I feel, is if it really was the Emperor's kid. It's not HuaLian's, come on. It's something Lan Chang is saying to create a little bit more chaos. And she has, well, you know, in the dream, she had the protection charm of the Crown Prince and such. So it's like she's kind of pinning it on HuaLian. I don't know why. She must be recognizing him by now. I mean, after the little encounter there with Mu Qing, it seems like she recognizes the two of them, right? So we're kind of deflecting, and I don't know why, but there also was no reaction when she met John Woo, so maybe, yeah. The only reason why I'm guessing the Emperor is because he's old enough for it, but we are talking... Okay, so the thing is that numbers being thrown around is 700 or 800 years old, which in the timeline makes it possibly after the fall of Shanle as well. However, the fact that Lan Chang still carried the protection charm of the Crown Prince of Shanle makes me feel like that might not be it, you know? Like, I feel like it is before HuaLian's fall, before Shanle's fall, that this sort of happened, or during it, while people were still praying to him and believing in him. It's like, I suppose, like, that's the one thing, the one detail that's throwing me off here. So who is supposed to be the father of this child? Is that even relevant to the plot? Is the father of the child perhaps not a heavenly official, and it's like it's created by some sort of magic insemination? A bit like Jesus. You know, I really can't tell. I'm just 100% sure that it's not HuaLian, and as a reader, you are sure of that. But the gods wouldn't know that, right? So this could be a little bit messy. I feel like we're gonna be slandering HuaLian's reputation for a bit. But will he be able to prove that the child is not his? Or will he be unable to? And will that kind of be, like, they're gonna, like, give the responsibility of this child existing to HuaLian, even though he's not the father? Is that what's gonna happen? Oh my god, HuaLian adopting a fetus. Not even through his own will this time. Briefly counting the chapter pages, and the next chapter is about 13 pages. I could do another one. I'm gonna do another one. I think I'll do another one. I'm gonna get a drink and I'm gonna do the next one so that we can figure out what else is gonna happen with this Fetus Spirit. I am so curious to figure out the plot around this. Give me a second, I'll be right back. It is 2 a.m. Why am I doing this? Because it's exciting, and I am not scared of challenges apparently. Okay, so in the hopes of discovering a little bit more about the Fetus Spirit and its origin and whatever Ninchen is about, we are reading chapter 47. Impetuous matches, none admits amidst conflicted laughter. None admits amidst conflicted laughter. Okay. So from the title, I'm just guessing that we're gonna play Who's the Baby Daddy, and no one is gonna admit that it's them because, again, they're not. Maybe it was Ming all along. Hey, it'd be very funny if it was HuaLian, but I think he's a little younger than this timeline. I don't actually know. Maybe he is 700 years old. Maybe it could be HuaLian. Maybe I got too hung up on the charm with HuaLian. The HuaLian charm in her drawer in that dream realm, and maybe she somewhat was, just a follower of the Crown Prince even after the fall of Shandla. Maybe some of those existed. In which case, our suspect pool is a lot wider, But I think this encounter with Mooching is more about confirming that, yeah, she's absolutely from Shandla. Okay, let's try to find out some more. If Ninchen had declared something like, "The one who killed me was you," it still wouldn't have been as much of a bolt out of the blue. HuaLian was practically knocked out by her thunderbolt. Me? Up on the throne, even Zhenwu's hand seemed to have slipped from its usual spot supporting his temple. Even Zhenwu is like, what? The heavenly officials were shocked into silence, and they immediately turned their heads toward the emperor. However, Zhenwu's hand had quickly righted itself, and he'd already resumed his usual somber pose with his head on his hand. The officials turned their heads back to HuaLian. Was this it? The third banishment to manifest before the eyes of all? Seriously, that's where they're going, like straight away. They're like, banishment, banishment. These fucking heavenly officials. HuaLian felt his soul shaking, and he forced himself to swallow the habitual "I can't get erect" alibi, which almost escaped through his teeth. That was only ever an offhand comment used to easily excuse himself, not appropriate for deployment in circumstances such as these. Besides, there was already private gossip circulating the upper court about various martial guards and their attitudes toward women. When Feng saw women, he respectfully stayed far away, and Lang Chenchuo blushed the moment he saw them. Mu Qing refused to even acknowledge ugly women, while Pei Shuo was expressionless when he saw women. Who knew what was actually going on in his head? Xuan Yizhen didn't seem to have women on his mind, but Pei Ming was constantly consumed by them. If HuaLian tried his usual excuse now, no doubt his name would be added to the list of martial guards who have strange relationships to women with women. I don't know, maybe a lot of them are just pretty gay. Miss Ninchen, please calm yourself, HuaLian pleaded earnestly. There's definitely no such possibility. Ninchen was glaring so hard her eyes were larger than bells. Yes, there is. It's you, the Crown Prince of Shandla! Ellipse reply. I'm gonna say it's from HuaLian. Even though this woman had died after HuaLian's first ascension, the and the timing could perhaps match up, wouldn't the man himself know better than anyone whether he'd met her before? Amidst the circulating whispers, HuaLian's expression and tone grew solemn. Miss, I may not be a saint, but I still know a faithful heart. If I did not love someone, I would never cross any such line with them, he said sternly. If I did, I would never allow that person to suffer any speck of grief, even if I had to beg and collect scraps or busk and perform on the streets to support my family. You are in the palace of divine might. Do not speak falsehoods. Shi Qingxuan piped up as well. If it really was His Highness who committed such a deed, why would he bring this ghost judger to the heavens to confront everyone? And why has Miss Lantong only now recognized him? Just think about it. It makes no sense. It was easy to see as much. But with such a spectacle to be had, who cared? The crowd maintained a reserved attitude, and an official even blindly hypothesized, perhaps His Highness lost his memory, so he doesn't remember the things he's done. Honestly, it's more believable that he's bold enough to think she wouldn't recognize him after 800 years. HuaLian was speechless and cautioned the crowd. My lords, to prove something is impossible by fabricating something even more inconceivable is a dangerous path to walk. Feng looked like he wanted to say something, but also like he couldn't make up his mind. In the end, he remained silent. He wants to come to HuaLian's side, but it's one of those situations, like in the Palace of Divine Might, he usually actually stays silent. Zhenwu cleared his throat. Shanle, how many golden belts did you once have in your possession? HuaLian put his hand to his forehead. Too many, at least 10. Mooching answered flatly. Over 40, each with different embroidery and patterns. He only realized the comment was inappropriate after the words left his lips, and he quickly shut up. Instantly, some of those present remembered that Mooching had been HuaLian's personal attendant and taking care of his daily needs, which was how he knew such details. Many of the officials couldn't help but think, counting golden belts alone, over 40. This Highness, the Crown Prince, really had once lived an extraordinarily luxurious life. Even HuaLian himself felt rather embarrassed when thinking about it. Back then, he had changed into a different extravagant ensemble every day, and his belts had changed every time to match whatever outfit he wore. Unlike now, where in an entire year he only wore 3 sets of clothing over and over again. Those 3 sets all looked exactly the same too. At a cursory glance, people likely thought him so poor that he only had 1 set of clothing at all. This is so funny, actually. This is the kind of detail I love. HuaLian has, in fact, not 1, not 2, but 3 sets of white robes that he changes between. That's actually so funny. Zhenwu asked HuaLian, and where are they now? Do you remember? HuaLian and Feng were both stumped. HuaLian rubbed his forehead. Not really. We're discussing things from 800 years ago, after all. I've long forgotten where they disappeared to. It wasn't because they had been tossed out. At the time, he and Feng often pawned things off whenever their funds grew tight. Too many things had been sold off, and he really couldn't remember whether any belts had been left at the end. Okay, so he and Feng, like describing themselves as he and Feng rather than including Mooching in this. Am I right to assume that this is a time where Mooching is just not around? Is that what this is kind of implying? Feng didn't have the heart to discuss this subject in detail, but said nonetheless, the golden belt might not have been a gift. Perhaps it was picked up somewhere. Zhenwu didn't seem to actually expect HuaLian to remember either. Shanle, I remember that your cultivation method demands a body of purity, lest your spiritual power be significantly damaged. Yes, HuaLian confirmed. Wow, so I was right, Shi Qingxuan piped up again. Just looking at His Highness, I could tell he must have cultivated that kind of path. If that's the case, never mind knocking anyone up. I bet he's never even held anyone's hand. HuaLian was about to say, that's right, but his mind suddenly presented him with the memory of a pale, slender hand as cool as jade. Fucking love this for us. I love this for us. Shillian is just going to be thinking about Huachang every time anything like this pops up. It's... Love this for us. It made a striking contrast against that bright red wedding veil and the thin red thread knotted about its third finger. The affirmation stuck in his throat, no longer able to roll out. Everyone in the hall stared at him intently. With one simple look, it was obvious his silence meant Shi Qingxuan's declaration was untrue. But never holding anyone's hand was too low of a standard. Even if hands had been held, it wasn't such a big deal. Shi Qingxuan immediately added, even if he's held hands, he must have never kissed anyone before. Oh no! Again, Shillian wanted to say, that's right, but this time... Endless streams of crystalline air bubbles suddenly floated before his eyes. As the translucent beads dispersed through the water, he saw an exceptionally handsome face, eyes closed, a shapely forehead lined by a widow's peak, beautiful to behold. This time, not only was he unable to squeeze out a single word, his entire face flushed bright red. There's like 3 ellipsis replies here. One is for Shillian, one is probably Shi Qingxuan, and one is probably for every other official in the hall. Every heavenly official in the hall understood in an instant, and dry coughs sounded all around. Shi Qingxuan was starting to regret saying anything. He knocked his fan over his own head once and secretly passed a message to Shillian through their private communication array. Sorry about that, Your Highness. I only wanted to convince everyone that you're really the aesthetic sort, but I hadn't realized you weren't. So if you've indulged in such experiences, I really couldn't tell. That last statement shattered Shillian's will. He choked out with difficulty. Oh, don't say any more. That was an accident. Junwu pressed a fist against his lips. Heavenly Father, just learning that his little prince is out kissing strangers. Wait until you learn just who that stranger is. I'm sure you already suspect. So Junwu pressed his fist against his lips, clearing his throat loudly. Very good. You have not violated your vows in these intervening years, correct? Shillian finally let out a breath of relief. That's right. Then this will be easy, Junwu stated. I have a sword here. Yanzhen. Yanzhen translates to glamorous virtue. It possesses a particular ability. Should the blood of a virgin flow upon it, it shall not be stained, but become brighter as it is washed. Take a drop of your blood and let it fall upon the blade, and we shall see the truth. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Why do we have... What is this? Yanzhen, the clear blue sword, but like for testing for virgins? Junwu, do you have a pregnancy sword as well to test for pregnancies? Like my man, that's a very peculiar sword to have. Although it had been common knowledge for years that Junwu had a hobby of collecting rare and strange swords, the heavenly officials still thought to themselves, why does my lord have all these messed up swords? What's even the use in collecting them? And I fucking agree. What the fuck, Junwu? Why do you have... at least the other one, the Hongjing, was pretty useful. What the fuck is this one about? We also have this art with Shillian, I'm guessing Lingwen, and then Lanchang, and then you have Junwu in the background up on his throne. And Lingwen is holding the sword. I'm guessing it's the sword. We'll see. Shillian himself was feeling more and more nonplussed by the situation and only wanted to end it as soon as possible. Lingwen brought forth that sensual Yanzhen sword. Yanzhen sword, and immediately slid the blade across Shillian's hand. Countless eyes watched intently, and Shi Qingxuan clapped. Good! Case closed. Oh my fucking god, I can't believe we just... Did this seriously happen? We just virginity tested Shillian in front of the entire Heavenly Court? How fucking humiliating isn't this? This is terrible! I mean, I already hated the heavenly officials, but oh my fucking god. Drops of blood slid past the blade, leaving not a trace behind. As expected, the proof was as solid as the mountains, and the crowd could only drop the subject. Ah, I see. Then who could it be? Their tone was lackluster, dripping with disappointment. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ling Wen turned to Lan Chang politely. Miss, please tell us, honestly, the identity of the heavenly official in question. The fetus spirit in your womb is restless, and your powers aren't strong enough to contain it. Only its blood-found father can calm and dissipate it. Before he could finish, Lan Chang unexpectedly pointed at Ling Wen and cried, You! That man is you! Ling Wen was speechless. We get an ellipsis reply with a question mark at the end, which is so fucking funny, actually. Come on, Shoubudu, Pei Ming. I'm counting on you to step up here. Ling Wen had probably come directly from his temple to attend this sudden meeting and was currently in the form of a man who was baffled to suddenly be named the child's father. The heavenly officials sputtered and Pei Ming chortled. Noble Jie! Did you even finish tending to your reports before you went and found a nice girl to knock up? This was probably what they called instant karma. Ling Wen shook his head and gracefully declined Shoubudu's compassionate gesture of giving his good nephew a congratulatory red money pocket. Shoubudu is actually so fucking funny. Like, he has the best jabs of the three of them. He just has the best jabs, I have to admit. Ling Wen's expression calmed. I haven't finished, and neither do I have the time. After such a riotous back and forth, and after Lan Chang hurled accusations at a number of officials, naturally no one believed her anymore. Feng Xin couldn't watch any longer and concluded grumpily. I get it, this ghost woman was completely crazy from the start and is only here to throw blame. She's come to cause trouble on purpose. Lan Chang cackled, sounding more and more like a crazy hag as she continued. And if she did continue, who knew who she'd accuse next? The heavenly officials changed their tune. Yeah, who knows? Maybe that golden belt was stolen. To be fair, I also have more than one golden belt. I actually can't be sure how many I have exactly, and I don't remember if I've stored them properly. Lan Chang wouldn't let anyone off so easily, however. Putting her hands on her hips, she screamed at the crowd. What? Trying to get away? Too late, not a chance! Is it you? Or is it you? Or is it you? At this point, it was obvious she was pointing fingers randomly. Even Ming Yi, who was silently standing in a corner focusing on chewing whatever his cheeks were stuffed full with, he's still eating, what the fuck, was indicated as the father at one point. It was chaos in the Great Hall, and everyone was shirking responsibility left and right. Take her away! Take her away! Don't let her spout any more nonsense. Jie, you're not my type. Don't you slander me. This is downright outrageous. John Wu waved his hand, and a junior official came to collect Lan Chang. Even as she was dragged out of the Palace of Divine Might, she continued to scream and laugh shrilly. The officials within the hall returned to their assigned positions, their hearts still pounding as their heads throbbed. At first, everyone had thought the matter didn't involve them, and they only came for a good show. Now they weren't so sure whether they would be the ones getting a bucket of crap dumped over their heads. They might even wind up landing themselves a new play in the mortal realm, starring alongside a ghostly lady love with gaudy makeup and a ghostly son who had murdered thousands. Sensing the danger, they all slapped their hands in exasperated helplessness. There's no way to investigate this case. I think she's simply wrong in the head, no need to investigate. It'd be a waste of time, just lock her up. This could very well be the ghost realm mucking about on purpose. And so on, but so I think she's doing it on purpose because that one line, dissipate the ghost. As in, they want to kill the fetus spirit once and for all. It's killed a lot of people after all, it is quite malicious. But remembering the creation of it, it's implied to have been very violent, and it's implied that it was against Lan Chang's will. She wanted to have this baby, she wanted to have this son, and she wanted to raise him. She even says so, or begs so in Ghost City. She wants to have her son and raise him properly because she never had the chance. That's her regret, right? That must be her regret and what is keeping her in the world at all. And yeah, the golden belt helped, but that's her purpose. That's why she's still around. It's what I'm guessing right now. So yeah, she doesn't want to let anyone know who the father is, because if they find out, yeah, if this father has sort of influence on his blood son, then it's over and out for the Fetus Spirit, right? And she does not want that. HuaLian disagreed, however. On the way here, Miss Lanchang was quite self-aware, so why did she suddenly grow erratic the moment she entered the Palace of Divine Might? I'm afraid it isn't something that can be brushed off by calling her wrong in the head. Thus, the crowd broke down and divided into two sides to debate and argue. In the end, the conclusion was still that never changing, we'll see. After the meeting was dismissed, HuaLian bid farewell to Shi Qingquan, who promised he'd descend in a few days to visit and hang out, then walked out of the Palace of Divine Might, sighing to himself. They say the Palace of Ling Wen is inefficient, but it can't be helped. Every time we gather to discuss anything, there's so much noise and ambiguity, and in the end the conclusions are never concrete. How can the Palace of Ling Wen accomplish anything when this is what we give them to work with? Just then, he sensed someone approaching from behind, and he turned to see Feng Xin. Slightly taken aback, he hadn't even greeted Feng Xin before Feng Xin hastily gave him a warning under his breath. Watch out for mooching. Fucking mooching again. Why, Feng Xin? Why? HuaLian hushed his voice as well. Mooching? That ghost woman reacted oddly when he entered the hall, like she was afraid of him, Feng Xin said. I don't care to pry into other people's personal affairs, but in any case, watch yourself. He hurried off after having his say, leaving HuaLian standing in place. HuaLian waited until Feng Xin was gone before he started walking again. Okay, so we're trying to kind of plant to see that mooching is somehow involved. Okay. I thought it was just that she recognized him. Because of, his proximity to HuaLian. They were, after all, his deputies, his junior officials. Even though he hadn't shown as much, HuaLian had actually paid close attention to every heavenly official's minute behaviors, as well as Lan Chang's reactions. Naturally, he hadn't missed Wu Qing. However, he didn't think the father of the Fetus Spirit was likely to be Mu Qing. HuaLian couldn't imagine him doing such a thing. Mu Qing undeniably focused his whole heart and mind on cultivation, improving his martial arts, expanding his territory, and growing his believer base. Furthermore, he and HuaLian practiced the same cultivation method, and Mu Qing would never even consider ruining his cultivation by touching a woman. However, Mu Qing clearly knew Lan Chang. That was definitely true. But Mu Qing was also the person who pointed out the woman at the Chandler protests way back when in Arc 2. I think that Mu Qing recognized her as that woman. That must be it. That's why he was staring. As for why she was staring, we'll have to find out, won't we? But with so few clues, HuaLian could only shake his head and dissent from the heavenly court. With the Fetus Spirit subdued and Lang Ying and Guji settled in the wealthy merchant's abode with food and drink, there was nothing to worry about. Nevertheless, it wasn't good to be away for too long. If HuaLian took his time returning, the wealthy merchant would probably start grousing about his absence. Thus, the moment HuaLian descended, he went straight to the town of Puchi. When the wealthy merchant saw him, he immediately clutched his hands and cried out in excitement. Daozhang, you're a master, a master! You slept in my concubine's chamber last night, and the doors were all locked. Yet this morning, when we opened them, I couldn't believe my eyes. You disappeared into thin air. Strong, too strong. So, did you catch the monster? It is caught, don't worry. Everything is fine now, HuaLian replied. How are the two children I brought with me? It was like the wealthy merchant had received absolution, and he cried joyously. Good, they're very good kids. They didn't eat much at all. Dao Chang, where's your Thousand Lights temple? I'm gonna donate and offer my gratitude. From today onward, I will proudly wear my title as one of your temple's devotees, and let none dispute that devotion. HuaLian didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Yeah, because Thousand Lights temple is, it's in Ghost City. It's kind of hard to go there, Mr. Merchant, sir. Goodness, a third laugh or cry. We might actually tie volume 2 if we keep going with these. But no matter what, he had increased his number of worshippers, and this one was rich too. So he was feeling rather glad. He lectured the wealthy merchant on the topic of virtue, discouraged him from continuing to chase lascivious pleasures, and advised him to be more devoted and loving to his wife and family. Finally, he told him to visit Puchi Shrine on another day, after which HuaLian left with Lang Ying and Guzhi in tow. The trio returned to Puchi village. HuaLian placed that "please donate and help with renovation" signs in a more conspicuous spot in front of Puchi Shrine, in hopes that when the wealthy merchant came, he would see it straight away. But the moment he pushed open the doors to enter the shrine, he sensed something different about the place. As they entered the shrine, indeed, it was vastly different. The floors had been swept, the altar table and chairs wiped, the dust cleared, and even the trash in the corner had been cleaned out. It was like the river snail girl had paid a visit, which comes with a footnote of the river snail girl is a character from Chinese folklore. Once upon a time, a farmer found a giant river snail in the fields he worked. He took it home and kept it in his house. When he was out during the day, the river snail would transform into a woman and perform domestic duties, such as cleaning and cooking. Once they found out her true nature, they fell in love and lived happily ever after. That's sweet. I love that. Everything was too clean. Even Qirong was gone. With Qirong's disappearance, it was like the entire place had become that much more spacious and bright. Even the air had cleared somewhat. In his arms, Guzhi was carrying meat pies he had especially brought from town. When he peeked in and didn't see anyone, he grew anxious. "Dagogo, where's my dad?" HuaLian immediately turned. He hadn't even stepped out the door before he sensed the chilling glint of an oncoming assault. He instantly drew Feng to strike back. Clang! That chilling glint was struck high into the air, falling to the ground dozens of meters away. He had unsheathed Feng as fast as lightning and sheated it with equal speed. He let out a puff of breath, but was immediately puzzled. That's it? No more follow-up moves? He went to inspect said chilling glint properly. After he struck, it had wound up crookedly planted in the earth. The curved silver arch seemed more and more familiar as he closed the distance between them. HuaLian brought the two children over, and when he clearly saw the blade, he immediately knelt beside it. Isn't this EMING? EMING? He exclaimed. What's wrong? Asking a scimitar what's wrong was an extremely odd sight. A few farmers walking past gave HuaLian odd looks and elbowed each other surreptitiously. Look at that man, he's talking to a blade. Yeah, I see it, don't bother with him, let's get out of here. But HuaLian had to ask, because EMING's entire blade body was shaking violently, even the silver-lined eye on the hilt. It shook harder by the minute, like it had contracted a deadly disease. HuaLian reached out in spite of himself, worried. Did I hurt you just now? No, HuaLian, you didn't hurt EMING. Come on, you didn't hurt EMING. The next chapter is another 10 pages. I can't read anymore. I need to take a break, but just there's only 50 pages left in this book. I guess next read I'll finish it. Yeah, seems like one more read is gonna be enough to finish this one off. But oh my lord, what even? What even is this plot? So we are trying to find out what is going on with Lan Chang and the Fetus Spirit and everything, but she is protecting it. I think she is making a mess out of things so that no one will try to disperse the Fetus Spirit because she loves her child and she never got to have that child. So that's that story. The heavenly officials are being messy and annoying and absolutely frustrating. And also the fucking sword. I'm not getting over the sword. Why do we have this sword? Oh my lord. Oh my lord. I mean, I guess good for us. We cleared HuaLian of suspicion, but at what cost? What a humiliating experience. I can't believe he doesn't even comment on that. But, you know, to him, that's not a big deal when he's, you know, in front of these people. Gosh, I wish he'd be more self-conscious, and we're working on it. He's a lot more self-conscious whenever he's around Huachang. Solution: always keep Huachang near HuaLian. But now we're back in town. Qirong is gone, and EMING is here. And EMING seems to be super sad and hurt, and I don't like that at all. What did you do? What did you do to my baby? What did you do to him? My poor EMING. My poor little EMING. He's holding EMING. He's ready to protect. Goodness. Yeah, what else is there to say? This was the chapter. We got a lot of things out of this read, actually. I don't even remember how many chapters I read. I read quite a few. Some of them were quite short. But like, we started with a very, very romantic sort of HuaLian chapter, where we just got to kind of like watch them be soft and open with each other and vulnerable. And then we immediately jump into this whole Fetus Spirit plot. Learned so much about that, and now we're back up in heaven, meeting all the gods again and creating even more, suspicions. I'm gonna say it right now, it's not Pei Ming's kid. It's gotta not be. I feel like at this point, like it would be super weird and, well, still kind of funny, but it's not Pei Ming's kid, and not Ling Wen's either. Xiaowudu, you're still on the list. Again, I love the three Tumas banter. It just kept going back and forth, and they're just so funny with it. So I found myself quite enjoying that part. Now, this is one of the worst cliffhangers for me because I want to know how EMING's doing. Why is he sad? Why is he crying? What is going on? I want to help him. I want HuaLian to hold him gently. But it is, it's late, it's super late, it's 3 a.m. It's 3 a.m, guys. I can't read anymore. I physically can't read anymore. I need to go to bed. But this was fun. This was great. We got a big chunk of Volume 3 done, and only 50 pages left. Volume 3 is gonna be done in another 50 pages, which means Volume 4 is not that far ahead of us now. How exciting. But Huachang has disappeared again. Like, yes, we did kickstart the HuaLian little quest line, the plot line again. And we got to see in action kind of what I said earlier. Like, HuaLian is getting reminded of Huachang when he is made to think about situations like holding hands with someone, kissing someone, and he's thinking about all these memories and being, flustered about them because they're not something he can just brush off. And I don't think he wants to brush it off either. He just has to come to that conclusion himself. And that might take some time still. It might take some time still, but I believe in you, HuaLian. But it's kind of like I said, this is literally HuaLian's first day of, so it is possible to find men attractive. So it's possible to kiss guys and feel a way about it. Yeah, we're making a lot of progress, and we need to. Again, 50 pages left in this book, and Huachang is not in the chapter right now. We're not hearing from Huachang right now. And if he's not around, we can't really keep developing the HuaLian relationship. We need to get him back ASAP. We have like TikTok on the clock. Volume 4 is about to show up, and sooner or later, someone is getting tumbled on that desk. So, super excited about that. Anticipating it. Looking forward to getting him. Are we gonna bring out the fucking sword again? Is the sword gonna come out again at a point in the story where HuaLian is definitely no longer, is that sword gonna come back? I'm gonna fucking cry. I hated that. That was terrible. Why does this sword exist? I need EMING to fight the sword. Crush it. Melt it down to a lump of steel. Fox noises. Yeah, you can tell that I'm getting really sleepy. Actually, I'm gonna end it here by doing our tallies. Because we added a lot. We added so much. The Gaga tally has grown immensely so. In fact, Volume 3 has hit 20 Gagas, which is already beating Volume 1, and we're catching up to Volume 2's Gagas. We still have 50 pages, and if Huachang shows up, this could be a very tight race. He's very generous with his Gagas lately. So Volume 3, total of 20 Gagas, and we're up to an overall total of 71, which is super impressive. Laugh or Cry tally, we added a few to this one, a couple of Laugh or Cries to Volume 3. Our total is now 15. And lastly, we added so many ellipsis replies. I can't even count anymore how many I added for HuaLian. But we're at a total of 26 HuaLian ellipsis replies for Volume 3 and 14 for others. We added a lot to others as well. And that's it. Without further ado, this has been Amelia, aka Spaced Out Puffin, and I will see you in the next one.